show on Tourette's where the guy was given a dog and he said it saved his life. You know, it allowed him to cope with his problem.
No, I haven't seen it.
Which was all right, except that the documentary did actually show him on the side of a motorway, side of a road, busy road, and he says, "I've got to keep him on a lead because unfortunately Tourette's has a bit of a problem." Where literally the dog's beside him, and he goes, "Go!" The dog's like, "He goes, no!" He keeps on trying to get the dog to run out in traffic.
Oh no!
Or when they walk into that shop in the caravan park, and then the guy walks in and goes, "This is a robbery!" Oh shit! You not seen it?
No.
Mint.
All right. No, I've never seen that
We
one.
need to get him on here.
Yeah.
Yeah, we could do that, you know.
Followed
Stories do Tourette's.
Or followed by, we're now going to dissect word for word the lyrics of your favourite songs. Just when you're singing along in the background. And
Such classics as.
yeah. Which we would like to call attacking the brown starfish.
That's what the Gully Dwarves when we do the Dragonlance campaign.
I don't want to lead with that.
Yeah, that's what we
You don't want to lead with the attacking the chocolate starfish.
Attack of the chocolate starfish. Oh, what's this? A new scenario? Not really.
Who was the band that came out with something in the hot chocolate flavoured water?
I don't know.
Oh, that's gone. Timing is everything. What do I do? Love me. There's a starfish on the camera at the moment.
Great.
Lovely.
He's actually ducking as if to try and sort of keep himself under the camera.
Yeah, there you go.
This is Cortex Cat 2.0.
Yeah, 2.0.
It's actually known as one of the twins, though they don't look anything like each other.
No, but he's got a bug brush for a tail.
Yeah.
Which is also not in control of, and it will go up your nose and rub it all over your face.
It's when you're struggling like this and you feel it rub your right ear.
Yeah, like,
Like it did to him.
Yeah.
Sitting there. Cat's then he's going like that and the tail's like...
it's coming around like, whoa, like, I'm not looking. Just in case it's the queen alien. You know, you turn around and like, oh.
Starfish.
Or in this case, Maggie.
No, well, yeah, the tank.
Yeah, so that we could leave with that. That's our first discussion.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Attack.
Well, I suppose really from thanks very everyone for waiting for us. We had audio issues.
This is unusual for this. No, it really isn't. No.
Do Cortex Group do tech badly?
Yeah.
Xbox badly. Do you do anything well?
Well,
Hopefully you'll find out in the new year. We'll interview Daniel Bedingfield on his classic 90s song and Shakademus and
players. Yeah. Just say, really, guys. This has all come out from I was listening on the way across to the studio here, and I heard a song, and I for the first time heard the lyrics. I was like, "How did you ever get away with that? You can't say that! Oh my god!"
Let's interview them in the new
Let's in the new year. What were you thinking? In light of the new Me Too movement, how do you think this reflects on your song?
It's gone down in the charts somewhat.
It's not really on iTunes anymore now. It's on a different chart for a different clientele.
Alder's on with us and he says, it was the group that sang Pretty Fly for a White Guy.
Eh?
No, what?
Pretty
I
far
have no
away.
idea.
That's it'll come to view that. No, Pretty Fly for a White Flag didn't sing that.
No.
Yeah.
No.
No. Okay.
No.
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 This is a no moment. Halt. No.
No.
And no means no. Don't do that.
Are we on that one? Or we're just on that one?
We're on all of them. We're everywhere. We're on the
At the moment
interwebs.
we're on chatting, so we're on just that one.
Alright. No.
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 Otherwise, it basically is you saying, halt, no.
Yeah.
And he's like,
I'm not
I'm not
halt.
halt.
No.
yeah, okay, and hopefully,
I'm just. I'm a brain now. It's,
you're stuck with chocolate starfish.
I'm just still thinking who did Pretty Fly for a White Guy. That's now. I'm gonna have to Google it.
Come on, halt.
Come on.
Pretty Fly for a White Guy.
Was
That was a white group.
it was
Yeah.
Yeah.
sort of pseudo punk rock.
I know the girls say.
Pretty Fly for a... That's the whole point, isn't it?
Yeah.
Be a bit weird.
If it was Snoop, like.
Nelly?
But really, you're very confused.
Anyway, while we're waiting for Holt,
who's just just interrupted my interrupt me thought process. Now all I can think of is I'm just watching them going, and it's by ooh.
Where are you going?
I don't know. Sticking his tongue out there. He's obviously engaged more of his brain than he can handle because
The duck comes out.
the cooling system's come out. It's like too much RAM. Bring out the cooling system.
What does he actually do? He's reaching for a cup.
Activated too much of the cortex, like the brain. Like
He's activated a third of the cortex.
yeah.
Offspring.
That's it.
Offspring.
I thought that was the next subject.
Offspring. Yeah, offspring. Why? Why? And
Why
why?
can't listen to such classics as Daniel Butterfield?
Well, for many reasons. But that's just another one of the reasons.
I was just always curious as I was growing up as to why he was on a dashboard with his legs up in the air.
Well,
You made me hitch my skirt up. Daniel, what are you wearing a skirt for, fella? Are you singing to Natasha?
yeah. Are you Scottish?
Are you letting out on onto the other white meat sort of songs? Yeah. You and Nat hanging out in summer.
Yeah. With your skirt up.
You with us?
He's gone somewhere else.
He's gone again.
Yeah. He's gone to that special place.
You can't keep up if you're not listening.
We've already established it's offspring. No, apparently we haven't. There's some heat from there. If you just put your hands out, you're like, ooh, that cortex is really cooking. Like, ooh, that's warm.
Yeah, it's offspring.
Oh, is it? Oh, good.
Wow, you just didn't trust him.
You didn't trust Holt. That's what. Why ever not? Holt.
He brought a galaxy to his knees.
Galaxy.
What?
A galaxy.
A galaxy?
A galaxy.
A phallus to his knees.
Galaxy.
A galaxy.
A galaxy.
Go back into English, fella. What are you talking about? Galaxy.
I speak good English.
Yeah.
Spulling for bagooners. I'm waiting for him to take a drink.
Yeah.
Why?
This is weird.
Because it's like, could you be pressed to your lips like this fine bouquet? I'm getting notes of ribbons and morning walks. Fog off the sea. We know what it is. It's toxic.
It's a horse. I got him. Hello, horsey.
I was waiting how long your gulps are going to go on for.
The cup I'm drinking it, apparently.
That's a Danny for Butterfield line.
Special effects.
How many gulps can you take? Daniel, where are you? You still wearing a skirt, mate? No, now you're talking about something we don't want to talk about. Where are you? Come back. Come back.
Daniel Butterfield. Uncontrollably guzzling.
No, yeah.
With Pac-Man.
Well, no, yeah, no. We can't do that, you know. That would be such a... if we could just do that.
Well, you're then going...
Can't do that. And it would be all the boring ones. I'd be like, oh, yes,
You
let's...
have to pay the pink box.
you know, you can't do the non-PC stuff, which is hilarious. Hesitant tears of laughter, but you could never speak of it, and you could never tell anyone that you were laughing at things like that. Or the fact that you constructed it in your brain and went, oh, these two things go together so badly.
You can't actually blame anybody else when you put those down.
No, because it's...
I've actually done that on purpose.
No, but to be fair,
Yeah, I didn't mean
to be fair, in defence, which we'd have to use when the legal action is brought against us, wasn't doing it because of me. I was trying to think of the target audience and who they would go for. You know? So that's it. It's just more about
The audience.
their sick brain, not mine.
It's the only way to do it.
What?
I'm speaking English, right?
Just checking.
What?
Just checking. It was like, huh? What?
What did I say?
Don't know.
We're doing it the first time.
The what? Give that away.
I've kind of forgotten.
Came out as
Haha. And you mocked me.
not as bad as obviously Kane when he spoke in many tongues, none of which were English
I had a
before.
brain fart.
We were like,
Anyway.
right,
Episode
13.
totally is as well.
Attack of the... No, that's a different one.
I forgot what it is now.
It's got something to do with
It's got a
chocolate.
name.
It's got false chocolate.
I've got session 12 in Kwazanu.
Kwazanu!
What's in Kwazanu again?
Right, okay. Well, you just said it?
I never can't remember what it was. Why did I write in Kwazanu?
Because that's what you came up with?
In reference to what?
No, there was no reference. You just simply came up with the Kwazanu. And we were like,
Oh, yeah.
and you went, that's not what I said. So you did. You said in Kwazanu. We can go back and listen to the recordings.
Oh, yeah. In Kwazanu.
Man sleeps light is on the town. It's a slight figure. Comma. Question mark. Woman.
I've
Question
got-
mark. Woman.
I've
Woman.
just got time freeze.
Get it.
Orbit moving very
Back-
slow.
Back to Daniel Battlefield
Met
again.
Shabba ranks.
Shabba Ranks. Why'd you
Red Shabba Ranks, god of fens and swamp.
But he's not. Shabba Ranks. I've got Shabak.
Oh yeah, Shabak.
But, but it'd be much more interesting if we could change. If GM could just change it. We've got Shabba Ranks as charge as the god of the fens.
Shabba. What? Shabba. Okay.
Alright, I'll change that to Shabak.
No, go with yours. Much better.
Shabak.
Up until you say that to his face.
Yes.
Her face, as it turns out.
Yeah,
The ancient
I think
widow.
Ori and
Ancient widows. Yeah, ancient widow. And the hags.
When King Bjorn falls and his son! Exclamation mark.
oh yeah, that's where we left it, didn't we?
Is you or, you know, going back into your body, all you hear in the distance is, well, that's not very good English.
Yeah, what?
And his son what?
And his son, eh? Can't leave it like that.
Drift away. That's not very good English.
That's poor composition.
Going back to Terry
Terry.
Pratchett.
Pratchett. I was going to say
I was stuck with Terry.
Terry.
Kind.
Yeah, I was. Oh, really? Oh no.
Yeah, he was more into bondage.
Yeah, he was. He. That's another one for the discussion. Terry Goodkind. How on earth did he manage to publish this stuff, which was just basically a PG-rated discussion of his private life?
No, I don't know who he is.
Sometimes.
I'm assuming he's an author.
And it was all about putting women in tight dresses, leather ones, putting in a jail to someone. It was like putting a what to his what? Yeah.
They were the special warriors.
He could trap. I can't even remember what they were called.
Seeker?
The Seeker, yeah. But people that power.
That one.
Careful.
Yeah. So they decided to do a TV adaptation.
Oh yeah, that was awful.
They cancelled it before it got to the leather-clad
Because how are we going to sell this one?
warrior women with the phalluses.
Basically, that's
that
what
they
it
used to
was.
beat men with.
Press them to their sensitive parts and let pain flow through them. All well dressed
To
in
make them better men.
bondage dresses, basically. And it was like, when you read it and you're only 10, maybe you didn't see the context, but when it's put on, like some TV producers going on, like, has anyone read this?
Lads, we're only going to get a couple of seasons out of this. Well, what happens if it's really successful?
It's never going to happen.
When they appear, we're ruined.
Isn't it that
We're
movie?
straight to HBO.
Sounds like that movie Pamela Anderson did. What was that called?
Oh boy.
Yeah.
No, it's nothing like that.
Oh my god, why are you able to tap into that sort of... Why do I even retain that? I can't retain my own bloody date of birth on a daily basis.
That was
know that
very
point.
quiet. That was
I
quick
never
as
even
well.
liked her. It was horrible.
It was so quick though.
Yeah, straight away.
Bye-bye.
Straight away, like, I'll need that. Hey, Brent, keep this for everyone who wants to be a millionaire. That stuff will be there. Yeah.
Talbot did it.
Talbot, what? What have I done?
Also, you just said Talbot did it.
Oh yeah, fair enough.
I don't know if he just did it.
He always blames me for everything.
It is your fault.
It's just,
It is anyways. Yeah, so don't read Terry Goodkind stuff because you'll just go to a whole world of
Pain.
pain, mainly by ladies dressed in rubber with a phallus that creates electric shocks throughout your body. It's like electric shock.
It's a kid's book.
Yeah. There's about 9 of them. 10. Oh, God, stop
I
reading.
think it got to 17.
Oh, stop
The
reading
last
them.
time I was out.
Stop reading because it was just falling into his own perversions and just whimsically putting out things he'd like to do to himself.
I don't read, so it's alright.
You don't read.
So it started off as a sort of a power base in themselves, and then there was the Civil War where they started using it on each other.
Yeah. Oh yeah, then that would then the ladies in rubber bondage gear would then start inflicting pain on each other, and it was just like next thing is going to be and they're fighting in a pool of mud
And they were
or
a religious
jelly.
sect.
Yeah.
So effectively it was alluring them to being nuns.
Basically, but rubber
Nuns in
clad.
bondage.
Yeah, rubber clad.
Electrocute each other.
Nuns were.
Yes.
Yes.
They didn't start off doing that, but when they ran out of men,
Why are they doing this?
You have to ask Terry Goodkind. It was
Can't remember.
somewhere.
What's the book about?
it was
Just
something to do with
torture.
training.
Yeah.
No, it was the classic, you know, dark evil taking over the world.
It was supposed-
young farm lad.
It was supposed to
with
be that the idea that there was all these different types of magical power, but they all had their nemesis that was brought out to so that people who would invade your dreams, but they could then be so the power of the Seeker, I think, if I remember rightly. So he's this awesome power, except of course he becomes anywhere near rubber woman with a tool, and then she could enslave you and then bring you
And
to
she
heel.
did for an entire book.
Yeah, basically. Until he was calling her mistress. And that's not what of a lie.
And he
Yes,
was on his hands
mistress.
and knees with a ball gag and
Sid-
a chain.
Saying, thank you, mistress. May I have another? Basically for about 12 chapters.
That was the hero. That's Conan. Ruined the entire movie.
Okay.
The hell just happened here?
No, I can't look him in the face now. He's
Red Sonja? What? Ah! Yeah.
So yeah, and then it just went into more stuff like that. And you're like,
And then he broke free. He destroyed the order, so the order turned on itself for its gratuitous violence. But there were an orc-like. It started off with orcs-ish, some like kind of Cockneys basically.
yeah,
Attacking through rifts, and he was the golden boy, the seeker, and one of them turned to try and, because originally the sect was meant, when before it turned weird, was a warrior women would protect the seeker,
which is in book 2. Yeah, exactly.
over time they turned into this.
Mother Confessor, the Confessor. Oh God, yeah, no. Oh God, I forgot about that. And the Mother Confessor and her big white dress and how she was pure, but she could confess people. And when she confessed you became her slave, basically.
Sex slave.
Basically, and would do everything that Mother Mistress would tell you. And it's like, this is going a bit weird.
That was the good people.
That was the good people. And then you got the rubber women, and it was like, this is.
They were the confessors that give in to their own stuff.
And then became.
So they would go, I don't want no white dress, because they weren't pure anymore, because they were like,
They weren't to torture. They were the sisters of the Aegil. And yeah, exactly. This electric rod to like short stumpy thing, very descriptive. And it was like
bit of a truncheon. And
For
so
certain
they
length.
didn't like the white dress and dominating men, and then they used it in certain ways. They would then not be pure, so they would start wearing blood red leather to hide the blood.
the blood, yeah. So they became basically there was an entire religious order of dominatrix,
Yes.
basically. And it was like, where's this good?
By
Terry,
book 3, you've forgotten what the orcs were there for, and why they were breaking through the rifts and the damage. Basically, what had happened is
there was a party going on.
They'd put a big dome over the good people, right? But then the Mother Confessors and the dominatrix were in there.
Yeah.
Because compared to what's on the outside, and they were breaking they're breaking the barrier and coming through, and the Seeker was there, and his power came about because they were coming through the barrier. By the time it gets to book 3, even though this has gone on to book, I think 17 plus,
yeah.
he didn't give a crap about this encroaching darkness, because it was all about these various different types of women with electrical powers.
Doing things to each other.
Yeah.
Well, enslaving the main hero and making him beg for another. And it was like, where's this going, Terry?
His travelling companion was the Mother Confessor.
Yeah. Come back, Terry. Come back, Terry. You've gone somewhere. Come back. It's like, no. I'm on. You can just see him in his office reading. Oh, this stuff's electric. I don't know where it's coming from. Yeah.
Was it the Wheel of Time?
No, that was a different one. Wheel of Time was a different one.
Ah, okay.
That was Wheel of Time was. I can't remember his name, but that was like 24 books as well, which you sort of forgot what that, at the end of it you were like, I
Didn't care at all.
Oh.
I didn't actually look through book 1. With Terry Goodkind stuff, I got a bit further in than I thought I was.
Wheel of Time was book 14. It got and then the guy who wrote it died. It lasted that long, he just died. And he started as a young man, but he wrote in 14 books, and it was like...
He wrote nothing else.
It
He was
just-
knowing for nothing else.
And it was
So
just...
what was the Terry Goodkind books called?
The
The Seeker Chronicles. Or
Yeah,
something.
I-
Chronicles of the Seeker.
Chronicles, it could be
It
that.
actually did make it to TV. Like,
Briefly.
yeah, very
For
briefly.
it was...
I think,
Because
I think they basically got the first book and went, oh yes, we're going to do this. It's orcs and heroes.
One of the
it's
main
very
characters
Lord of
is
Rings.
this
Book 2.
is this wizard called Zedigus Zalzuranda,
Yeah.
which in the TV series was the guy who flew the gyrocopter in Mad Max 1 over the top, that Australia, and he was like, oh, and it was like, this is very terrible, like wobbly scenes, they're all, oh, this is a bit like when they did the Elfstone of Shannara, which was like, this is terrible. It's like, this is really Days of Our Lives, like.
Let's get the guy from Spartacus and get him to act like Crixus, but worse.
Turns out
Good plan.
It turns out he really can't act. It turns out he just can't act.
He can't remember how to be Crixus. Just be Crixus. Right. You're not being Crixus. Cancelled.
And that was the same as that first one for the Secret of the Sevens, whatever it was called. And it was like, you watched it and were like, and then you think, oh, they can't put this on. This is PG rated. You cannot put this on because we haven't got to the Rubber Club women with a
Wheel of Time.
Wheel of Time was the
Got finished by a mate of the author.
right
A mate.
a mate after he died.
Yeah.
And probably the mate was like, I've read them and I still can't work out what's going on. I'll just write some stuff because
And then Sauron. You can't do that. What? Really?
no one's followed this, man. People can't keep it going for 14 books. We've forgotten it completely.
Christopher, look, why don't we just add this in there and just say it's the 5th age?
Yeah. So read those, mate. You'll enjoy them.
The TV show, by the way, had the episodes were like 30 odd minutes.
Yeah.
But most of that was taken up of close-ups of the Mother Confessor who was an attractive actress.
She was.
Slow motion killing people.
Yeah.
Like, literally, be like, and there's a fight scene. So, somebody's just watched the 300.
Yeah. Constantly.
Every fight scene.
Probably
They're going to have an argument.
Probably because what they're doing is saying, we want to try and get 2 or 3 series out of this, but by the time we get to book 2, this is on HBO only, and it's 18 plus, because once we bring on the leather-clad dominatrixes, we're buggered. Therefore,
Like the hero.
later
Which
on
actually did happen.
in book 3, thank you, mistress. And it's like we must just slow everything down, so everyone's on slow mode. It's like, why? Got to get this out of 3 series, because once we get to book 2, book 3, it's all over. HBO.
Every fight scene was slow-mo. Every scene. But then again, that was at the time of 300 came out, then the first season of Spartacus came out, and everybody went, wow, that looks really good. Let's do it with everything. Yeah, but it doesn't work with an argument.
Constantly, no. And so,
Slow motion dishwashing.
and then they did the same thing with the Elfstones with Terry Brooks. You know, where they just let you watch it and you're going,
Terry Brooks.
it is awful. I mean, it was like I went back and reread it. And went, oh, actually no.
Robert
the books-
Jordan.
the-
Wheel of Time.
The books were pretty awful, to be fair. But I think I was like 10 when I was reading those, so maybe it was okay. But the way they did it, it was like the elves in the Elfstone were just rubbish. They're like, really? These are the supreme fighting beings?
Yeah.
And it was all in the same quarry, somewhere in Sussex, fighting in the same quarry. All scenes. Looks like that quarry from Sussex. Couldn't really afford to dress it up too much. They just kept on put a bit of mist.
Oh, look, and here's the Overlord. Wow. What?
It's the same quarry. They just had the toxic drums, which have got like cellophane print on the, because it was through the age of man, and we don't know where these ancient things come from. It's like, this is awful. You've ruined my childhood.
What?
Just got to be careful. Make sure, you're on camera.
Yeah.
Huh?
I know you're liking the idea of the Seeker Chronicles, but you haven't pushed yourself in enough to be able to do what you're doing, right?
What am I doing?
Well,
I'm not going to bring it up. The compressed rewind. Oh, wait. As soon as I stop recording, they're going to be able to go back and see what you just did there.
Oh.
happy to be here. Oh, sorry.
Have you seen the new Hellboy trailer?
No, but I have heard.
Sort of picture.
Who've they got? They've changed Hellboy.
Yeah.
What? It looked like them on the picture.
It's that. I think it's that dude out of Stranger Things. The copper. I don't know what his name is.
What? But I saw the picture of him. It looked like Ron
Perlman.
Perlman.
Ron Perlman's gone, is he?
Well, I know he's just done a new film called Asher, which apparently, having not read the synopsis, is about a fat, old assassin who gets his jobs from a Oriental cleaner. Classic.
What?
And he likes to drink red wine. And I'm thinking, I don't know about you fellas, but I think you've kind of missed the point of PTSD. A guy that spent his life killing people at the end of the night doesn't go up onto the rooftop and gently enjoy himself an aired off red wine. No, he's.
I like this
trust me.
nice Chianti.
David Harbour. No, him.
Oh, look at that.
Let's have a look. Show it to me. Oh no.
David Harbour.
If,
Yeah,
if you're gonna
they've
get someone,
got-
we'll try and make him look
Come
like
on,
Ron
man. They've
Perlman.
got Ian McShane in there.
Oh god. Well, he's in everything, isn't he? Has he
So-
finished being Odin yet?
And oh no, what's it called? That
Odin. He's
American
Gods.
Gods.
Oh, yeah. Of course it was, eh? Or
I stopped watching that.
the sweary ex-soldier preacher from Game of Thrones. You didn't see him in Game of Thrones?
He wasn't in the Game of
No.
Thrones.
He was in Game of Thrones.
Ian McShane was in Game of Thrones.
Yeah, he helps the Hound get back on killing track after the Hound's decided to pretend he's a
Oh, he was. No, you're right. Yeah, no, you're right. Yeah, he was briefly one scene. Well,
Come
two
on,
scenes.
man. Have you seen the cast, man? What's her name? Mila Jovovich.
Yeah, but she must have finished with
Ian
Resident
McShane.
Evil. Let's just in between Resident Evil 27. We've
But
the milking. We've still
There's
got
50 of us now! No, we've done that one. 60 of us. Oh, new.
You seen how everyone, like, you know how Thor went with like is it like the 70s like rock or like the trailer? It was very.
Led Zeppelin.
Oh, yeah.
They're doing something similar in the trailer.
Someone went, "That's a good idea." Next thing you know,
Yeah,
Led Zeppelin's entire back catalogue is
That's
now
what
going to
they're
be
trying to do.
strewn
I'm
around.
still gonna watch it because I like Hellboy, but
Yeah, but I like Roll Perlman. Roll
Yeah.
Perlman.
I'll still watch it.
Roll.
Yep.
Oh yeah.
I'll show you the trailer once we finish.
Yeah, for copyright reasons.
Obviously, unless Hellboy wants to,
Reach out.
Ding.
Reach out. Ding, 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 ding.
No.
Oh.
I don't like you. You said I was fat.
We didn't say you were fat. We just said that you looked
Smash
comfortable in the role.
Yeah, the way that you turn sideways and stand there going, I don't want this job. You got tits. I mean, man, seriously. Why did you not look at that post-production and go, no, that scene's cut?
Yeah, man, they've even got Big Mo. Was it Big Mo? Big Mo? Out of EastEnders?
You're on your own there. I have no idea what you're talking about. Big Mo, Fat Mo.
Not Big, you know...
Is it someone from The Simpsons?
Oh my god, what's his...
He got cancelled.
Did you?
Yeah. It's offensive. So the Cricket March just a derelict now full of zombies.
Who
I'm making that bit up.
Who's that guy who played Churchill? The actor, the British actor? Gary Oldman.
Gary Oldman. He's Big Mo.
His sister, who was in EastEnders.
No idea. You
Plays Mo in EastEnders.
It was Mo.
yeah.
I'm assuming based on his description, Mo is
Like everyone's going to go, it's Dirty Den. Oh, Dirty Den.
and there's a little bit sort of challenged gravity-wise.
Is she challenged gravity-wise?
Yes.
Hence Big Mo.
Big Mo. Yeah.
EastEnders obviously don't have a problem with typecasting her.
Yeah. Body shaming.
Yeah,
EastEnders.
until Gary Oldman turns up and
Yeah.
goes, bring everybody!
Dressed as Churchill.
Cigar. Fuck you, Dirty Den.
And he had to have a colostomy because he was too much. It was all the cigars he had to smoke for that film. He's like, he had to have part of his like colon removed. Well done for the craft.
I feel great. Oh, I like the padding. That wasn't padding.
That's right. Yeah.
McDonald's and cigars.
I've given myself diabetes just for the role.
How about then episode 13?
Oh, right, okay.
Oh, right, okay. I thought. All right, well, you ruined it there.
I'm not sure if you're looking at your phone or adjusting yourself.
We were on a roll there. I
both.
thought we thought that maybe this was the new Cortex chat moment. We're just going to go straight to it.
Oh, that was new? Okay. That should not that big.
She's just known as...
Shouldn't she be called Old Mo?
Yeah.
She's known as Big Mo.
I think it's unfair. I'd just like to make one disclaimer. I've just noticed something on the stream here that for anybody watching this, it was not intended. It is not in any way is this episode reflective of any particular religious beliefs.
Oh my god, what?
Because I've just added... Because I wrote Rise of an Empire, episode 13, Birth of a King. Mid-season break, happy holidays.
Right.
So this is not following any particular religious beliefs at all.
It's actually. Hey, it's the solstice tonight.
That's the second of the season. Like of a
What was the first one?
We had bad timing, slaughter.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Anyways, it's the winter
No,
solstice.
they
We
didn't.
just didn't show.
They didn't pick up on that.
We didn't turn up.
We didn't turn up.
So it makes no sense to them right now.
It does to
What we're
us.
talking about, yeah.
This is a bit weird, isn't it?
Yeah.
You know, I'm
Remember
like,
when we didn't turn up?
And I'm like, oh, they did have an episode name, and I'm going, hold up, this is our Christmas break. We're not coming back until the new year now with the next episode, and I've called
This is
Rise
a-
of a
yeah.
Birth of a King.
Birth of the King.
This is perfectly apt.
Just weird.
Or is it?
Or is it?
Yeah.
Or it needs
Or is it
three
just
wise men in there now.
Well, it's funny enough, when it came to Halloween, I didn't have Stick Up Your Arse episode.
This is
Again, straight to HBO.
Episode 6, Stick Up Your Arse. Yeah, that episode has gone down in classic.
that's
Classic,
that's
cultism.
only for subscribers, and you have to go to a different page for that.
twist. It's a good twist in the nativity story.
Twist.
But we have. So, if you wanted to know if we could rabbit on for a long time,
Of course we can. Look at this. Hour
absolutely,
gone.
because we can't finish now until there's until we get to the end. Otherwise, January's going to make no sense because it's all going to be and the fight that happened. So,
Couple of fisticuffs. I'm just going to talk.
Just press on to the end, and then they all die. Right, good. Back to the chat. Big Mo, what do you think? Body shaming?
I don't think she's that big.
I don't know.
I think she's like old.
Old
Mo.
Mo.
I don't know. I don't do the casting of EastEnders, and I don't know why she's called Big Mo.
You can't bring something up without having some background knowledge. in it.
Exactly. We didn't even know who she
I
was.
do that all the time.
You know, in your personal life with your profession, it must be very confusing for the people that you deal with who've got issues in themselves, and you're there with a random number generator. They're like, "Is it me? Or is it you? I don't know. We're all away with a mixer."
It makes perfect sense.
To them, possibly. I don't
click.
know. Just randomly in a third party.
Just shush. Let's just change. Let's move on. Moving on.
Pudding! Who's caring for who?
No.
Oh, right, okay.
No. Not.
No.
And relax.
And scene.
We'll be back after these messages.
Scene. Oh, he's blown it now.
And we're back.
Corpsing.
And we're back.
You're a back.
I'm a bat. I'm Batman.
But he said I'm a bag, and you said I'm a bat.
You're a bag. I never said you were a bag.
You're
What
a
did he
bag
say?
bat. Bat bag?
Did you say bat?
You put bats in a bag?
I'm talking about putting any bags in any bats. I thought he said.
Bags.
You would have put a bag in a bat.
That's cruel. They're only little, you know. Maybe it's the fruit bats.
Do it again.
I suppose.
Did you just say they've got a cruel nipple, you know?
Don't
Just
know.
one. Ah! Oh no, a crap nipple! Oh!
Cruel.
You need to do this 40-second thing again.
Why? We're having so much fun.
And
Back next week with the episode that was. Okay, no corpses.
you're not a bat. Stop
I
saying
said we're back.
bat bag.
Mad.
Wow.
You're black, he's mad.
Go back again. That's my defining characteristic. What's yours?
See how I blend into the dog services. Ooh, right.
Straight.
In Quasanu!
Quasanu.
Thing is, though, right?
What's the name of the dwarf again?
The scene's really. Third time the channel, maybe fingers crossed. Yeah. It's an actual action-packed series.
I
Ian.
didn't. Yeah.
Yeah. But I've got to try and get the moment now because you've ruined it.
Sure.
Third time's a charm. Let's
do it.
Thanks, Holt.
Right.
It was very direct. You didn't even know back, even a little bit.
People are like, what?
No, it's just silly channel Lethal Weapon. Just that part with Mel Gibson.
Yeah.
We're back. We're bad. You're black. He's mad. Mad.
Mad.
Mad.
The sugar rush ain't helping.
Oh my god.
Cheers.
Yeah. I've run out.
Other than Holt, I'm assuming Holt's the only. Is Holt anyone?
No.
That's
no.
Holt's not there.
No, he's not. Holt is not the only person here.
Oh, right, okay.
Serenity, friends. This is the comedy
Yeah,
channel.
yeah. How many times have we restarted this bloody segment?
I don't know. Could be an entire 2 hours. Just
It's supposed to be
restarting.
episode 13, but
Yeah.
Oh dear me.
Oh, we've got. Yeah. Hi, everybody.
This is part of the role playing. It's called
Eventually.
Shambolic Starts. A role play.
Oh,
Role
who's
play?
that again? Lovely.
Lovely. Two flip-flops of flubble.
Hammer?
Hammer? Oh, what is in this stuff? We need more
Not
of it.
enough.
Yeah, well, we need more of it.
Right. Okay, so
Right.
what happened? So
Someone.
Ulmakor,
Oh my god.
realizing his mentor and oldest friend, only real friend, Godric, was or had taken the blame for whatever. You know, he didn't get a chance to talk, but he'd got the attention of Ingvar on himself, and he was currently pinned to a crosspiece and being partially flayed. Ulmakor basically got into the camp, astroplaned in there, and set it afire. However, there was a trap there, and as the Factari and the low-ranking Semnathai were immolated, it triggered said trap, and these frost spirits came back down through the astral plane and struck at you. You were able to raise a protective field around you. Meanwhile, Caradak, in the guise of Grombrindal, Grom, he woke or was became aware of a frost entering the king's main hall and charged into the room basically and started fighting the creatures off. At the point where the Hag Mother believed you were basically about to lose, you were going to fall, she took you away to the place between realms, effectively, but before Mor's realm, so that you wouldn't die screaming horror. But if that's all it was, she probably wouldn't have done anything about it. It was the fact that they eat souls. That's what their sustenance is. That's their payment. In which she thought, well, I don't want... You just got... Effectively, Caradak got caught up in it. It was Ulmakor's soul that she was protecting. You were taken to this realm between the mortal realm, between the demon realm, between the Mor's realm. Effectively, it was a slow... In your perception, it was very quick. It was moving rapidly. Perversely, it was actually the opposite, as time was slowing down in the mortal realm. She took a moment to bring you there so she could talk with you before sending you to Mor. You decided no. You know, there was no guarantee of your death, and you were needed in the mortal realm.
We'd made a promise
to tell.
And a promise not easily broken.
Absolutely. And so she said, well, they're not going to... That was a one-off.
That's what I was going to say. It was a one-off. We either take the chance to just die quietly and be reborn later on, or you're on your own.
Yeah. You obviously chose to go back because of prior promises and because when asked, is there a guarantee, or we definitely going to die, so there's no guarantees. So you chose to go back and fight these spirit creatures. These they come across as spirits of ice, of cold. It's not. It's because this is just basically what they bring from the demon realm through. It's their a way to move around in the mortal realm. And so you basically said that. And the last thing she said was, you will see her one more time, and that is at the moment that the king...
when King Beyond falls, and then it just says, and his son...
And his son. ...
and we didn't know, and his son what? Wins? Dies?
And
Discovers flute music? What? You know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that was where basically episode 12 ended. So with episode 13, the sound of metal ringing upon stone and across timber, you can you feel the cold as the realms come together, collide. You become aware of the most susceptible sounds becoming the most outrageous. The crack of ice, of the frost on the timber around you is thunderous in your ears. The cold starts permeating your body as you sit there. As the realm that you're in now starts to break up, you find yourself rushing towards the point that you left the mortal realm consciously. Your soul effectively was removed. And in that snap, before you could possibly prepare yourself, you end up in the mortal realm again. You're beneath the dome, which is cracking. You can see the frost has made its way through, like fine dust. It's making its way to literally land upon your prostrate form. You feel yourself jumping backwards. It's obviously the move that you're doing. For you, it was hours ago. But it's obviously what you were doing. That's how slow the two realms are. How they're divided. And you're jumping back as this clawed hand. Far too many fingers. It's not like 4 fingers and a thumb. This belies any sort of like creatures that you've come across. This swiping claw taloned hand is just missing you by literally by millimeters. You could feel it crusting against the leather chest plate. And in that second, you realise that you're Caradak. You're in the form of Caradak. As you jump back, you land. Your right leg goes out and braces as you slide. Your spear's in one hand, shield in the other. Your mental reactions are as well attuned as any mortal can be. And you're aware of at least 3 of these creatures swirling around. All around you is just white and frost. The ground is treacherous. Ahead of you, where you were just a moment ago, as the memory returns, the main floorboard has been cloven in two by the strike of your axe when you destroyed one of the creatures. The axe is no longer visible, but the damage to the floor is. And all of a sudden, sound, blizzard, cold, it's all back. Your senses are real from it. Automatically, your shields come round and you feel a crack against the hardened surface.
I can't get to Ulmakor at all.
You haven't tried.
Oh well,
You were just striking at the creatures. You attacked the threat as you saw it. You can't see the dome.
Right.
You
So I'm
can't see
working
him in
way. So I'm going to work my way back towards the dome with shield up and just
It's a couple of steps away.
Oh, okay.
These aren't massive rooms by
Right,
any
okay.
means. You can literally go shield there, and you can effectively jump and slide across the frosted floor.
Okay, I'll do that then. I'll do that if it's not that far.
You're obviously you were tired.
Mm-hmm.
As you come back, and you feel this soul-numbing cold that's all around you. Again, this fine flakes of that morning frost, of an early snow, is coming through the cracks in this dome, and there's the sounds on the outside are muffled. You hear like, and then a foot slams up against the dome. You can see as you slide up against it, your foot catches the dome. It's near your head. And you see his foot. That shakes a little bit of the snow, a little bit of the frosting away, and you can see him standing above you, shield poised. He's got himself in a defensive position. The spear's out.
Can I see any of the creatures at all?
No, apart from him because he's so close. It's more of a silhouette. His foot is obviously very much in focus. The dome is covered in frost, and so you can't see out of it. But you've got a heartbeat before it gives way anyway.
Oh, right, okay, so I know that's the next question. Is that, can I maintain this dome, or is it...
You can.
But it's going to give way?
Well, it was given way because you were exhausted. You found yourself invigorated at this point.
Oh, right, okay. But do I get the sense that this is a futile act of, like, if I increase the set, it's just a matter of time before it goes...
It's only a matter of time, yes.
It's going to go down. This is a temporary measure at best.
At best, yes. I mean, invigorated, in the power that you have, you could keep this going for some time. There's no shadow of a doubt that he's going to get overrun in short order. And it's only a matter of time that contrary attacks on your shield. It'll cost the lives of other people because the sounds are not muted. They're not in the other realm. This is the mortal realm now.
Right.
Warriors will come, and a lot of people are going to die. You could hope for holding the shield. This is obviously in a split door.
Yeah.
You could hold that shield. Many of the king's men might die, if not a large
all of them.
even the king maybe, who will obviously come running to defend the cemetery. A lot of people will die, and they might by sheer numbers destroy the 3 spirits before the dawn goes.
Is there? I know it's a split-second moment, and we're aware we're back in the form. Obviously, Caradak's still up against the physical presence of the dome. Am I aware of attacks still on the dome, or are they focused on? Like, is it like they're still?
They're coming at him because he's got a defensive measure. They're faster than him, effectively.
Right.
But at this point in time, he's got himself down. He's hunkered down by the shield, and you can see he's reeling from his strikes against his shield. His shield will break, but your dome was also taking strikes because the speed that they're moving around. they don't really care that much that they're going in through the fireplace of the stone. It's they are an elemental attack. So your dome is like inside. It's like rainbows of you can see the ripple effects from each blow. For slashes, they strike at the shield, they'll strike at him. Even now, you can see blood rain down upon the shield from slashes and cuts that he's taken.
Right. Okay. In terms of my maintenance of this dome, is it all or nothing? Am I maintaining this? That's my primary focus.
Nope. And the more you put into it, the stronger it'll be, the longer it'll last. But if you want to
if I want to do an offensive attack, the dome has to stay, or the dome has to come down?
No, the dome has to come down.
The dome will have to come down.
Yeah.
And these things are moving so fast I can't even see them.
It's simply because the dome is covered in the frost, so you will be able to see them. You will perceive them moving, but it's not something that you're going to get into. But you get your axe out and go, right, I can trade blows with this thing,
Right?
Because their speed is faster than your movement. So as you go to strike, they'll hit you.
Right.
They are. So you are aware of them, and you're going to be trying to move at them, but they can move around your defence and hit you. But right now, it's simply because you're obscured by the.
Right. I'm going to
the
focus my energies on increasing the size of the dome to push out and out and out and out till it's actually almost filling the room, pushing these things to the corner so they can't. Literally, they're going to have to go through walls to get back. You know what I mean? Like you just circle in a square. It's going to rapidly cut out, and with the main focus of closing the door off so that they can't get through the main door. So if there's if that's the door, then the outside of the dome is pushed out, so at least the door's covered. So if they're in the corners, that's where I'm trying to push people to. So they're in the corners as opposed to having free movement round, up, round, out. Just increase the size. It'll also bring him inside the dome.
Right. Well, there's no. It's not a slow thing. It's this is a barrier that you can just push it out. Very quickly, you find yourself covered in this dome, and the heat that comes with it. The ground is still frozen. But it's defrosting quickly. You've got that pain in your chest of exerting yourself at very low temperatures, and immediately you're aware that you're inside this protective dome, and you take a knee. You can't help yourself. You can see that the back of his legs, his arms, they're all, they've been slashed and
he's
cut.
Caradak, he's not.
He's Caradak, yeah.
Right. Any sign of the hammer?
The axe.
Sorry, the axe.
Yeah. So there's no sign of the axe, but you can see the curved blade is sheathed at his back where you keep. I remember correctly because you've got your sword there.
But the big axe that he had a hold of
of Gromrindal's gone.
Is gone.
Yeah.
Why? Could really do that now. All right.
Very quickly out of game, because this was obviously last week. You were told by the Hag Mother that the blade itself, you don't have to consistently always be Gromrindal. It's a choice. Mm-hmm. And the last time that you turned into Gromrindal was when you held the blade.
Right. So these things that we've now pushed out in the corners, what are they doing?
So as you push them out, and you put, they are not restrained by the walls. They're not.
Oh, they can go through the walls.
Yeah, exactly.
As in, not destroy the walls, just.
They're passing backwards and forwards through them.
Right. Oh, okay. So they're not actually trapped by the physical. Nope. There goes that idea. I'll trap them by the corners, except when, of course, the corners mean nothing to them.
Exactly. Yeah. You have your chamber is now in this protective dome, which all boom, boom. You can see the slashes rippling across. You've obviously got a much more a larger area, and you can hear muffled screams.
Did I, other than with the axe, have we seen Caradak having any effect on them, or was he not actually?
He hasn't tried as Caradak.
He hasn't tried as Caradak.
You know enough about the what these creatures are. They are in a form that you've not come across, but they are a lower demonic form, and they can be impacted on by normal weapons. You don't have to have special weapons.
Right. Okay, but they're just probably a bit tough. So it's not like
they're very fast.
It's not like the classic. If I've got an element of fire, then I need an element of water to bring them down type thing. It's not one of those.
Their forms can be broken.
It's just literally pointy things being rapidly pointed at them and shoved into them works. Right. Okay. Well,
I mean, fire will have a massive. They'll have a massive weakness to fire because their ability to move fast, their ability to manifest in this realm is what perceived to be ice and cold and frost.
Right. Okay. So, I'm going to move inside the dome and take the dome with me. We're going through into the main chambers where I can hear all this screaming. Cause
So you bring the dome back down
yeah,
again. So
and
you're
then
not, yeah.
yeah, and then we go together. We're going through into the main hall. We need to know what's going on. Together, we stand a bit of chance. Also, I get a chance to protect the people who are probably having a bit of a bad time. So, if you can lead through the door.
I'll lead through the door.
Okay. As he moves down the corridor, you can see the injuries are superficial at best, but there's many of them. And
Right.
that in itself has a slowing down effect over time. But he's not. They're all fairly shallow cuts. His armour and his dexterity has obviously done him well. But he is a crisscross of shallow cuts.
Right.
You move down the corridor, shield, you've got your helm on, you've got your spear forward. The shield is holding, and you have the confidence that, whether it's a desperate situation, and whether the shield is going to hold or not, you are obviously prepared to sell yourself to protect your semithigh, and the shield moves ahead of you. You, even before you've got down the corridor, you come across the frozen forms of a dead servant girl, slave. She's been ran through, and she's literally is frozen in rictus like shape, of look of absolute horror on her face. Her clothing is shredded, her body is slashed to ribbons. It is the sheer amount of attack, of strikes to her that's killed her. These creatures are not hard hitting. It's the fact that when they fall upon you, like I suppose like piranhas, there's just a blur of whirling frozen like blades and finger talons, and it's she's lying there. The blood is frozen as it's splashed up the wall, and you move over the body. Your feet are crunching on the snow frost as you move into the main chamber. As you enter the main hall, you can see that the ground is again crunching underfoot. The fire is completely out, and you can see several other of the slave girls, servant male and female, are dead. They were the first to fall as you push the barrier out. They've tried to run without getting too far. These creatures are, the more they kill, the longer they can stay. At least that's how you're perceiving it. You also see several of the Unbroken warriors have fallen to these strikes, having ran into the sounds of screaming. They were overwhelmed almost immediately. Again, as you move forward, you are perceivably aware of three of them, and they are, they defy gravity, whether it's their speed or they can fly, or simply put, like many of the spirit that are corrupted and brought forward from the demon realm, they literally just don't follow the same physics as we do.
Right.
But you see three of them. And they are mainly concentrating on trying to break your barrier, but anything that's warm, anything living that enters their strike,
is there
they
anyone
immediately
is
attack
there
it.
anyone inside the hall, or are they all dead?
Everyone's dead that you can see. Soldiers and serving and slaves alike.
Right, we need to get that fire going. Is the fire, is it out, or is it cold, or is it...
It's out, like frozen solid.
Okay. No torches, anything? Is there any...
So everything that was there, that's supposed to be there is there. So the torch on the walls, the fire pit's there, but it's obviously, the temperature's dropped, the fire's gutted away, it's all frozen up. But unlike the fire pit, the torches are whale oil,
Right.
so they can be reignited with little to no effort.
Right. I'm going to increase the size of the dome so it's bigger, so it forms so it's not just centered around me and it's my personal protection. It's increasing, so it covers you. We need to get those torches. We need to get them lit, and we need to get that fire on them as quick as we can. It's our best defense.
As you wish.
So we'll try and I'll increase the size so we can. Without overstressing me, if I need to move to get bring the bubble to the where the torches are, get as many of those and start and get them lit, basically.
Well, as you do that, you're starting to feel the strain of holding them back as you expand it onwards, and it is simply the fact that the longer you do this, the tighter the bow would actually become to keep it at its same sort of level of protection. As it stands, because you're now pushing it out even further, having retracted it, you've held it up for so long. And normally you can keep up these shields and you can have them protect against scrying and mortal attacks for a considerable amount of time, but these are not mortal attacks, these are not normal circumstances. And your refound your refound energy is rapidly fading. You move to the fire, to each brand, lighting them in turn, which is immediately, you can see that the frosting is melting quickly, it's forming. You see the mist sort of coming from it, the dry mist, as it were. Behind you, you see him from a distance come running through, covered in a score of cuts, protecting his wife, his queen, with his body, and King Bjorn comes through the barrier.
Right.
Unless, of course, you're stopping him. I'm assuming because you're pushing the barrier out, I'm going by your original thoughts of holding them back,
holding
as
them
opposed to the mortal. Otherwise, you'd end up having. Otherwise, you'd be pushing chairs out the way.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Scraping the entire walls clean.
I'm fine.
There's tapestries hanging off.
No, it's to let. It's basically to keep them out.
So he comes in. You can see that he's a large axe in one hand, his broadsword in the other. He's held himself over his wife, protecting her from attacks, and he has suffered several blows. He takes literally comes in, realizes that he's safe for the moment. He takes a moment to sort of like catch his breath, and that's the side effect. These creatures are born across this mist, which is literally sapping the strength of the warriors. Never mind the fact that they're faster, they dilapidate the warrior.
Debilitate.
That one.
Yep.
Something made a horrible smell near me. Said King Bjorn.
Yeah, and they're stinky as well.
These things reek of death and of the demon realm.
And sulphur.
You work your way around.
I'll work around like
I'll say to the king, their fur is fire. Fire they are more susceptible to. We need to get fire to them.
Sheathes his sword, two-handed with his axe, starts cleaving into non-supportive timber. He's not going to cut down the beams and hold the roof.
No, not that.
Right.
Not going to help. No.
They're trying to break the wood down into. This is seasoned wood.
Yeah.
And his mindset, you can see straight away, is to cleave this wood into smaller pieces so that you can get to the inner workings of it and set fire to restart the blaze in the centre of the pit. The queen closes in on you. For want of any, she doesn't know really what to do at this stage.
It's safer where I am.
You see she's also armed as well, and you remember Griselda is a warrior. She is a soldier on her right. Of course, she's
A little bit...
extremely heavily pregnant and due imminently.
Yeah.
That's putting her off a little bit as she sort of walks towards you, sort of trying to protect her child. She's covered in blood droplets and spray, but you alleviate your concern with a quick sort of once over that it's King Bjorn's blood. In short order, you get the torches on the beams lit, and he gets the main fire pit blazing.
Right.
And you assume that you're closing.
Yeah, they was going to say was getting closer to the fire.
I'm assuming you're going to bring the shield in, so it drags them closer to the fire.
Yeah.
Obviously, as the shield passes by each of the main torches, as it drops down, closing it on yourselves, the smaller it is, the longer you can keep it up. As it passes by each torch, it gutters out quite quick.
Yeah.
In a muffled screeching sound of hate as they attack the heat. But the fire in the centre is of such a heat that you can feel the sweat forming on you down your back, your armour. You can feel the heat across the backs of your bare legs. But it's nothing compared to the death that waits on the outside, and you're just aware of it as opposed to something that's of deep concern.
Right.
But you realise, I assume, that you're going to have to drop this.
Yeah, at some point.
How do they react when they go? Are they using the attack in the flames?
Absolutely, yeah.
I'm putting them out.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay, so when one targets a flame, I'm gonna try and attack it with my spear. So I'm like honing in on it. So if it's literally, I know where it's going because obviously the movements are so quick. So if I know it's going to a particular target, I'm just gonna target it, and then I'm gonna try and hit it with my spear.
Throw?
Throw.
Are you going to lose the spear, or are you going to use it as a jabbing action?
Well, if I'm close enough, I can.
Well, yeah.
Depending how close I am.
Well,
I'm in my mind.
As he's bringing it down,
Yeah.
and you're going, right, there's the torch, and the shield's here, so you're still inside the shield as it crosses by. The shield is a long weapon.
So yeah, if I'm close, then I'll just attack it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
As a close range strike.
Right as the shield passes by, in that split moment of a second before the fire will be completely gone out, 'cause it's a small flame in respect to the creature that's attacking it.
Is there wood behind it?
It's on one of the down beams. It's
Okay.
in like an iron bracket.
Right.
So you strike with all your strength. It's not like a gentle attack in the sense of like experimental to see what happens. You're going for full-on kill. For a moment, you see it. Your spear penetrates the creature's body and pinning it to the actual the support beam. You see it turn. Its eyes are all, like jagged sort of slash marks. Its teeth is all part of its all one form. You see it shriek and tear at the spear. You see the timber blacken, and then you watch it as it shrinks and evaporates. The iron tip has penetrated through to its body, pinned it, and it rails against the wood before evaporating. With a twist, you pull the spear back, stepping hastily back from the barrier. You see this as well.
Right. Have you got any sense of whether the number is finite or whether it's multitudinous? Like, is there 3 up there or is there 50?
So there was. You realize. Well, you know that
There was
you
4.
killed. You killed 2 before you were taken away. There was 3 left. You've killed 1.
Right.
Right, so
there's 2 left.
Maybe only 2. How tired am I? How long is this?
With one of them destroyed, exponentially, you feel that the attacks on the shield itself weaken.
Right.
Far more than just a third.
Oh, okay.
These creatures do give out a hell of a lot more damage than they can take.
Any more fires that that they're targeting?
There's a few left.
Well, I'll do the same again then.
Yep.
Are we reaching where we are in the fire pit?
Well, you can just drop it and then you know that will come straight in.
Yeah, go too fast, then we can get there. So I don't necessarily want to.
Well, I'm assuming that like you and the king and the queen have been backing off. He's the only one that's kind of out of the way.
Yeah.
But he's backing up against the fire.
Yeah, they were right beside the fire.
Yeah.
So what I'm saying is that the other lanterns, lamps, torches, are they within? Does he have to throw, or are they?
No. Well, as each one passes by the barrier, he can strike it.
Right. Okay. That's our plan.
Twice more as you retract the shield, you strike, and with similar results. As you back up to the fire itself, so your feet, like theirs, is against it, you can feel the blazing fire that you've.
It's getting quite warm here now.
And the barrier is literally just there. Well, I assume at the point that you've got the spear as best you can. Your eyes are wide, looking, sensing, listening, feeling. You feel no more strikes. There's nothing more striking against the barrier. The only source of heat is you, your group, and the fire that you're in amongst. And you know that fire's given a far more heat than you are, even as a group. But you feel nothing. These creatures seem to have been spent, and it's also noticeable as the pain becomes now an excruciating for you to handle against the back of your legs. You can see throughout the barrier, outside the barrier, the environment, everything becoming soaking wet as the white, cracked frost starts to defrost and soften.
Well, I would leave the barrier first,
Right.
anyway, just to see if it is clear.
Yeah.
Just-
Be quick, because I think we're going to catch fire through radiant heat at any second. Oh, we're saved.
Yeah, so I would leave it me. Yeah.
Right. You step through the barrier without harm. Spear, shield, head down, ready. Movement. You can see that so concentrated on your own dilemma, you did not see the soldiers, the Unbroken tribesmen that were coming in through the main gate. The further you got back, obviously you were in a maelstrom of frost. The bodies are littered the entire Great Hall. There's a lot of warriors have died trying to get to you. But as you watch the frost literally just like spring and the end of winter and fast forward, you see the frost go from white to clear and soaking into the ground around it. You feel the heat of the natural order of things return.
I'll
You look at him; he hasn't been killed.
Right, I'll drop the barriers and we'll move away from this toasty fire. Like, Maud, put me out.
As are you doing anything? You become aware that he's dropped the barrier because you can suddenly hear them talk. You can hear that breathing.
He's still Caradak.
He's Caradak.
Oh yeah. Last story. previous story told to King Bjorn.
No, well, previous story told to Arvid.
Was it Arvid?
Well, that's what I was saying. Oh, don't worry, he's gone.
What? What was this sorcery? Who attacked us?
That I'm trying to work out, King. It seems like you and your wife were not the object of their attacks, and it was me. And for that, I can only apologise, but I don't know what that was. And at the moment, what I really need to do is I need to sit down and I need to have a bit of a breather because I'm quite tired, and I immediately find somewhere to fall.
Everything is wet.
Yeah.
The furnishings, the ground itself, the walls drip. The sound of running water, of dripping water all around you is quite loud. You can feel that sort of that clamminess that comes with water, overly soaked area. And as you sink to the ground or to a seat, a bench, you hear the thundering steps of warriors as they come charging into the hall, and you become aware of the bodies around you. Bereft of the frost, they sink in on themselves effectively. You know, they defrost and hit as they slide to the floor, and their blood starts mingling together with the mud and grime that's been brought up through the floorboards and the stone walls. In quick order, the warriors under the command of the Queen and the King, basically they leave the main hall. It's no condition at this stage for anybody to be staying in on a rest. Obviously, everything was just a whirl around you as they go about. Your main concern, of course, is to protect the cemetery. You can see his game somewhat exhausted, a little bit, tired. He's got, but his cheeks are a little bit flushed with the exertion. It takes a good sort of 10 or 15 minutes for the activity to calm down around you. The king and queen, like I say, they've pretty much their household slaves, the servants have killed a man and woman, and they've quickly whisked away, leaving you in the main hall. And, the warriors have obviously gone off to protect them, and you are left to the sound of the main fire crackling, and the main beams groaning under what can be considered to be considerable damage of frost over. At no given point will this great hall, these main beams would have expected this sort of frost to form in such power, and you hear them groaning above you as the frost is melted, and the water is literally just raining down all around you.
Right. Is the king queen there?
They've gone.
They've gone. Right. Let's get out of here. I'm not happy with this. This is structurally sound at the moment. And we need to get out of the town, and we need to take the king and queen, and we need to get out, and we need to find Grom. But we need to find him and talk to him privately.
As a matter of interest, remember the Grombrandal, the gift of it by Renald was to get you in, as it were, to be able to communicate with the Dwarven King, because you're going to go up into the Dwarven Mountains, and the Sebdithai and Bactari are hardly allies. Kill on sight is effectively what was said. Amongst the human tribes per se, it's not that much of an importance.
But obviously, we're alone now. There's no one else. But obviously, you two can't be in the same place. So when Grom turns up, there needs to be a reason why you're not there. Maybe you're scouting. Maybe you've gone ahead. Something like that. But we just need to be aware of that. Because the question from the king's going to be, where is he?
The style between how you feel and move under Grombrandal compared to Caradak is literally polar opposites. Caradak is fast, lithe, silent. Grombrandal is pure, elemental, raw power. When you were Grombrandal, you felt like you could literally shoulder barge your way through a wall. The ease with which you were using this huge axe, but everything was fast. You saw attacks coming before you were aware of them, so you were able, in that sense, to look like you were able to meet the strikes, but it was all pure, raw, elemental rage and power. Whereas Caradak is, you might not be able to see the strikes coming, but he's able to just instinctively not be there. He's quiet and lithe and stuff, but you felt literally the polar opposite when you were going Rundal. You'd give up speed, agility, stealth for power.
We need to get moving.
Let's move.
We need to get on the road because whilst Arvid might have been, Ingvar might have been satiated by my explanation of what happened to you, he may still send someone to the town and you can't be seen. Was that a noise that we...
That was one of the smaller beams.
Yeah, just creaking. Yeah. And still that stench of death in the air. Oh, okay.
And rotting food.
So yeah, we need to get you out of here because you can't be seen.
Right now.
It can't be known. Like we got to get you out here before someone else comes.
From your point of view, obviously, if you get, I think it's an out of game moment here. Is the dwarf was here? Nobody's in command of his going-ons or his whereabouts. He could have easily have left.
No.
Do you want Caradak with you on this journey into the Brackenwalch, or do you want Grombrindal, the White Dwarf, with you into the Brackenwalch?
I think you constantly do. We need people will see him, and if anyone comes in from the cemetery,
he's out the door.
Yeah, he's gone.
Murdered her.
And it's like, what we saw him with the king. Oh, right. So we need to basically tell the king that you're scouting ahead so that you can disappear, and then Grombrindal turns up with a story of how he chased after some of the other demons that turned up, or these creatures, and attacked them, and he turns up, and you're scouting ahead. That way, the last thing anyone sees in terms of the populace is the dwarf and not Caradak. So that if just on the off chance, this is just on the off chance, it also means that if we are being scouted by any of the other Vaktari who may be following us, covertly, when we get out there, they'll see a dwarf, they won't see you, and go, oh, I thought he was dead. So we need to, the play that I need to arrange is, I need to tell the king that you've gone ahead to scout out.
Then I'll do just that.
And then we need to have the
I will
dwarf
go
back.
on ahead.
But not literally.
No, not literally, but I'm saying what I'm trying to say is I could.
You need to be seen to go out past the king, and I'll say, and scout ahead, and then you go off and
And I will
disappear,
return.
and then from exit stage left, not back, or you come running, come running past as Grombrindal said, where did this Raymond go? He just ran past me like the wind,
Okay.
So we need to keep that going because everyone needs to see the dwarf. We can't have Caradak be seen.
Do you want to ready the king and queen?
We'll go together, and I'll say, and you need to sprint off, and then the dwarf needs to turn up.
Sounds like a good plan.
It's the only one I can think of in short order.
Okay.
So we'll go out to where the wherever I saw where likely the king queen's going to be.
Well, you can see the gathering of warriors.
Right.
You can see some of the other tribe warriors as well, out of curiosity, thinking what's going on, what's happened.
Right.
There's obviously been an attack on the king. They've taken over one of the somebody else's home just across the street.
So there's a group of other people now.
Yeah.
Okay, well, before you go running off, it's like, right, you can't be seen now because everyone's out there. I can't have you running past going.
He was listening to our plan.
Yeah, well, no, what I mean is I can't have you running past going. Oh,
You don't realise you're saying this plan out loud.
Yeah, and then, but the thing is everyone's going to be there seeing Caradak run past, and it's like, oh yeah, well, yeah. What about the dwarf? Yeah, but what about Caradak? He went running past everyone in the town, so run out. Yeah, with a big beam of light on him, and it's sparkly. So you just need to do one and disappear, and Grombrindal comes back, and I'll make up. So just go into my rooms and come back out as the dwarf, and I'll speak to the king, and just.
So effectively, as you step out to the front of the hall, you go.
Yeah, we'll
push him back in. You're like,
yeah,
just go to my room.
just come back as the dwarf, and I'll speak to the king.
Okay.
And your story is that you were fighting demons,
Yeah, fighting demons.
which is why you weren't seen.
Okay. I can do that.
Right. So.
You cross the street.
Yeah.
Everybody passes by a moment. At first nobody's watching you.
Yeah.
Yeah, you
What
sort
do you
of
feel like? What? Really?
You start moving through people, and as they turn, they go,
Yeah.
reel back as if there's vipers amongst
Yeah.
them.
What do you think you are? Oh, you are. It's looking.
Hey, there's a. move aside.
Yeah,
Very quickly,
Stop myself now, it'll be easier.
people start partying before you. You enter the room. You can see that somebody, one of the soldiers, one of the warriors, no, I'm lying. One of the servant girls is or slaves is tending to the king's wounds. The queen is sitting wrapped in several wolfskin pelts and is being attended to as well. You see her feet have sustained some minor damage from the frost. The fire's been banked up. Warriors are, rattling swords and trying to make up for the inadequacies or turning up late, because everyone that turned up on time died. And that includes, you note, or in the back of your mind, as you've got the ability to do, effectively, his personal bodyguard were slain.
Oh, right, okay.
And you know them to be the best of his best. You didn't see Alvar, but again, Alvar's not an active warrior.
Yeah.
But again, you're not suspicious by his.
No,
by
he's
his
probably
absence.
doesn't get there
He's
himself.
an old man. He's probably asleep.
Yeah.
But yeah, so you stand there as you make your way through. Meanwhile, you
I heard
slide into his room.
back to the room.
Devastation is pretty much absolute in this chamber. It is not habitable without some serious work. The bed is destroyed. It was the epicenter of the frost. The bed is literally aged and cracked and broken. Its beams are gone. The floor is smashed. You can still see the huge damage that you created with the axe. Fireplace is black and some of the stone has fallen through. It is all soaking, absolutely soaking wet, dripping from the walls around you. You can still feel the cold that permeated these walls in such a strong fashion. But it is becoming warm, but it's that cold inside cold, that feeling of it's going to take a while to warm this place.
Right. Come on then, Grombrindal. Come forward. I'll pick up the knife.
As soon as your hand grips
The blade.
the blade,
Yep.
you start to pull it out. It elongates into the silver steel of the axe that you used. It's an almost instant transformation, but for you, perceiving it for the first time, you see your hand gets larger. As if grabbing the blade and doing it, pulling it out, as it turns into the axe, the transformation comes over you. You feel the room get bigger. You feel yourself become wider. You could feel the weight of the world upon your shoulders, but you've got the strength to carry it. And you watch yourself form, the shape and bulk. Wait!
Thought it was big.
The great white beard forms and strikes down through your very deep, strong torso. You can feel the strength build up around you. You feel muscle form. It's all harmless. It doesn't hurt you in any way. It's almost instantaneous.
If there was a mirror there, you'd be like,
But it's not imperceptible. You realise that to do it in front of somebody, they'd see you go, as high as you become wide. Corded muscles. Every muscle has its own secondary and third muscle.
And all of them are
vying,
corded,
going, individually. You go, and it goes, corded like veins appear to feed the massive bloodstream for your huge dwarf heart. Yeah. You find your accent turn and Scottish.
yeah, before you know it, you can't help yourself.
It just feels like it should be.
Right.
You have an overwhelming hatred for cockneys.
I will exit the room.
You don't exit the room. You stride out the room. You're like, oh, boom.
Still not used to your broad shoulderness. You take a part of the door frame with it, like a lintel collapses under dirt and rubble. You're like,
Get some.
Your arm catches the side of a shield. Bong!
Yeah, funny bone.
Because you feel yourself going, invisible carpets. Bong!
Take a moment.
See, there's a lass with a mop out. And no matter what you do, you just can't hide the fact that really hurts.
Yeah. But then you can't help but just pump out a few more poses.
Oh!
If only there was a brass shield, I could look at me, gaze upon myself. Anyways, first, where's the king? All that sort of stuff like you. I'm just getting a moment for you. That's how I perceive that you're doing it. You're just.
I've just been killing many creatures with this axe, which I can hold with this arm.
Twirl.
Whoa!
Give him the double peck. Give him chink. Oh,
So they would turn into water mode.
Too small. Can someone give me a ladder?
Someone get that for me.
What I'll do,
No, the
I'll
first-
distract him by giving him double pecks. Oh!
When you did that, in my head I thought you meant
would-
I
you
was
would
Thor.
With a Thor, right?
And it's gone.
Straight in the ceiling.
Oh my god, I'm really stop. Oh.
I've got boots of leaping, but unfortunately I don't have boots of landing.
Right, okay, so I'll walk on through.
Ladies. Oops, sorry.
Just got
At least
someone
we've
stuck
got-
on the end of it.
At least we've got Helga. At least Helga still survived.
Oh, the demons must have got it. Oh, that one seems to have been hit half by a large
Which one's
axe.
Helga? Is Helga that evil one?
She was the last slave.
She was the last slave. And then
Meanwhile, you're standing there, and suddenly there's a movement around you, and you hear, "To the king! To the king!" And there's blood splashing everywhere. People are screaming, and he comes wandering through. Shink, shink, shink.
passing through. Funk, funk. I find this is it.
Turns around and goes, "What the hell happened here?"
More
Brings his
demons.
axe up. Brings his axe up in the defensive post. Ah! Why are they looking at me in horror?
Why is another one of your house calls died? Looks like an axe wound. We're looking for an axe killer. Wait a minute.
Ah, my feet! Shut up!
So yeah, no.
So yeah, you'd make your way through the soldier, the warriors, and stand before the king. No concept of how long it's going to be before Grombrindel shows up.
Just listen to the sounds of screaming.
Oh my God! That dwarf just killed just killed
All the serving maids have been killed by an axe. Speaking
an
of
entire generation of cleaners gone.
all that knowledge, all that institutional knowledge gone. Those demons are terrible.
What about Big Mo? Even Big Mo!
No, Big Mo's gone.
She wasn't even that big. She wasn't even called Old Mo.
Old Mo, really? Oh, she's not that old.
She was bigger than you.
Really
Yeah,
old.
she was. Well, you mean Old Mo? Yeah, she was like 35.
Well, not really that old.
Ancient.
Not really old. Actually, and it's actually Darren. Oh, it's not even a woman. Oh, right.
Big Mo's dead. Yes, turned out Big Mo had a wiggy. What?
Oh, let's never talk of Big Mo ever again. Her memory is now expunged from the annals of the tribal history. We shall never talk of Darren.
Godfrey, wasn't that your girlfriend?
Oh. We were just at the early stages.
You've had kids. Anyway. Other mockeries.
So, in front of the king, get a little straight up perfectly, and expect people to move out when we go to the king. And say the king,
Most do.
and beyond, we need to get moving now. We need to prepare and leave, and by leave I mean as soon as possible. I fear that this is just the first attack, and that whatever those things were, know that you're centred in this town. Many, many people will be part of this collateral damage, as you've already seen. We need to get on the road, and we need to get to the Hag Mother. And we need to basically take you out of the town to relieve the pressure on the town.
How many men can we take?
I think it would be better if we moved to... strength
How
of
many you
force.
got?
We should take 60. 4? Yeah, 4. 4 good, strong boys. Oh, right, okay. And that old one. Yeah, yeah. We should travel lightly, because I think that, as you've seen, our strength comes in stealth. We cannot... Your men would only be more food for those things if we were to go against them rank upon rank. We'd be obvious. I think stealth is our way forward. And certainly when we get into Brackenvalsh, definitely stealth is our only defence, because there's things in there that it would take every army of many tribes to force our way through there in any way. It is an evil place, but you can navigate its paths if we're stealthy. I would say bring your personal retinue, but sadly it seems as though they are no more.
Fallen. I see no none of their faces amongst this crowd before me. Send word for Alvar. I shall need him. Tell him to come armoured, as he did for my father. And also, if you can get a litter prepared for the Queen, we leave as soon as possible. Prepare food and water. He chooses another 3 members of, 3 soldiers, 3 warriors from the crowd, and it becomes a bustle of activity. Through this activity, you can hear his gruffness and like, clear away, get back about your duties, man the walls, look for any other incursions, see if we have been attacked elsewhere, and also insulting them for being nannies and coddling them around in a group. Throughout this bustle, you see the mountain-like form, small mountain, but mountainous form of Grombrindal stride through the crowd.
Ah! My arm! I'll let the grid pedestal. I'm living it. I'm playing again. My arms.
Great King, I am a healer from.
Oh, that'll buff out. It's just a scratch on his head
So I walk in
with an axe.
The axe on.
Helga.
No, Helga's not on the axe.
Still attached to it.
This sort of goes. Gets caught in the boards, the ceiling back.
He puts his foot on the head. Everyone's like, ah!
Sort of like outside of his foot, like.
I think Helga still lives. Well, not now. Oh. You put your big steel-clad boot on her head.
Her nose crunches. Jaws like.
King!
Shocked face.
Yeah.
I was like, it's just horror.
Like,
What?
What's the matter? What's the matter? I'm here to save the day.
What? Nothing happened?
I don't know what you're talking about. She was like that.
She was like that when I got here. No, attached to your axe, to her face.
She attacked it.
It's not my axe.
It's not my axe. They're just putting it on, trying to get us in trouble.
In the background, you get, wasn't me.
Oh, give me this.
My personal retinue have died, but I have these 3 strong.
I didn't do
That was just bad timing.
I didn't do that. It's not me.
3 guys pinned against the wall.
Is that you? No. Don't
Still
sit back.
Hey! To the king!
In the background, music just wafting again. Wasn't me. Had it on the floor. Wasn't me.
Then I did it once over.
So yeah, I'm rewinding and going back to the axe. Helga's not attached.
Well, not
To the- to
you got
my
rid of
axe.
us. Yeah.
I got rid of that, okay. And I'll enter. Who's there?
Who's there?
Entire town spoke like,
I thought the dwarves could see in the dark. It's positively
anyone-
lit.
Has anyone noticed me?
It's short-sighted. Anyone notice me? Yeah,
little old lady, I'm yours.
I'm yours.
Dwarf.
Yeah. I couldn't finish.
Oh.
Who's there? Anybody see me? I'm yours, dwarf.
Oh.
It's like a Monty Python sketch.
Oh.
I'm yours, dwarf. Who said that?
Does everyone notice this? Oh, yes, everyone. There was one person. Now they know, yes. Everyone knows.
Who said that? And the shoe goes. Who throws a shoe?
So has anyone noticed me?
Everyone. Because you stand there like, dun, dun, dun.
I am Grombrindal and I've taken care of all 6 in the room.
Mates.
All 6 of your personal retinue.
Yeah, they're all dead. They'll never be a problem again.
The demons.
Your personal retinue was demons? I slayed them all. Including old ancient Alfred, the 85-year-old man. He was the chief demon. He's laid low. Old Alfred.
My king!
Watch yourself!
Oh,
No, that'll buff out.
that's Alva. He's alright. He's had worse. You've cut him in half.
Yeah, he'll get better. Wasn't me. I didn't do it.
What's my axe?
We're looking for some sort of axe-wielding foe.
Huge up my body strength. Supported by core strength.
Yeah.
Hang on a minute. So if I let go of the axe, do I change back?
You're about to find out.
Yeah.
If I throw the axe,
You see him going,
I wonder.
yeah. And you're going,
No.
little dagger, ding.
And then Kai goes, and I'm like, everyone has to die now. Flames
Outside.
obliterated
yeah, mushroom cloud. Boom.
on a map somewhere. And then something's like, ooh, what the hell?
That's gonna be very quick.
Right, move some other people in here. You're Umberogans.
Yeah, right.
You're King Bjorn.
Yeah. If anyone asks, you're King Bjorn. And you, you're the beautiful Queen Griselda.
We have a history to write.
And action.
No one say anything. We're all going apart.
Yeah, Tal. My son, he can...
Oh, God. Right. And then all of a sudden, beep, 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 4,000 years later, yeah, see what happens. Yeah.
That's exactly what happened.
Yeah, that's exactly
Because the blood of the king died that day.
yeah. And his entire town.
Hence why it was renamed Altdorf.
Well, had to be.
Reikdorf died, so there was an alternate
There you
Altdorf.
go.
Wolf, yeah.
Right, I've got another plan.
Yeah, even
Altdorf.
better. Bogenhafen, it shall be somewhere we're going to live. Really? Yeah.
Yeah, this can't possibly happen again. Oh.
So everybody's noticed me. I've come in. I will approach Ulmakor.
Very needy. You need to be noticed.
Yes.
Oh,
I'll just stop for a second and make sure everyone can see me. And you.
in
you.
the doorway
Yeah,
with an axe. I have killed 6 demons.
yeah.
Done right.
You over there. Look at me. Oh. Oh my God, that's Helga.
What do you think?
Part of her face there, just like sloughed on.
I wonder where that went.
Someone's thigh bone.
It's in his
Is
beard.
that the same woman?
Is that a hand? I think he was wearing a ring and he got caught in his beard. What? Have I got a snot?
Is it what? Yeah, like. Oh. Wasn't me.
He's even got a cat.
Yeah, like on the spike of the axe. Is that Tiddles?
I thought it was a hat.
It's the demon spawn. Tiddles is demon spawn.
Meanwhile,
Right.
yes,
So
everyone has noticed your awesomeness.
fantastic.
Master Dwarf, we are so fortunate to have had you with us.
Yes, of course. You should not expect any less of a dwarf from the mountain, who's very powerful and mighty with his axe.
Speaking very staccato-like while he desperately thinks of what he's going to say next. I'm just like... And you got that dwarf brew, that gully dwarf brew. I'll have some of
Where is the king?
that. You really are short-sighted, aren't you?
That good. He's just one. We are so fortunate that we had you with us, Master Dwarf.
Yes.
Blah, 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 blah. Where's the king? I'm here, Master Dwarf.
Yeah, like,
The king was talking. I'm so sorry.
you're talking to
You
the
look
king.
like shit.
Didn't realize
Well, you're the
Our
king.
kings look glorious. You're a shit king.
So that was King Bjorn saying
Yeah?
that. I didn't realise.
Well, apparently not. You just didn't say,
Oh, that's
where is
not
the
right.
king? Huh?
You just walked in the room. King, queen, the Semnethai.
No, you said-
blah,
I
blah,
thought the
blah. Where's the
king-
king?
I thought the king walked away. Okay, so there's a king. Okay.
So, from his point of view, some longshanks walked off. Well, that must be the king. Right then, who are you?
Yo,
Give me a drink.
They all look the same to me.
No. Hey, what are you doing beside the human queen? Tease.
The fat one, get away from her. She's all svelte and lovely.
Fat woman! Boot! Spot and kick.
That's so bad.
This is Sparta. What are you just doing? Who are you? Show me the king.
You just backhanded his teeth out and then toe punted his wife off a chair.
Furiously, I'm thinking, needs glasses. Need to get him some glasses. Have you tried these Master
So,
Dwarf?
King Bjorn, I am sorry I did not recognize you.
Amongst all the other kings.
What happened here?
Nothing here.
Weren't there dead bodies here?
No, dwarf.
That is good! There should not be dead bodies here.
They were in the main hall, where my personal retinue fought to the last man to try and save myself and the queen.
They fought well. Not well enough.
Should I say that? I don't know. Critiquing them. All right, but
Drip, drip. He scratched his face with an axe.
It's getting rather awkward here. Meanwhile, internal Caradak's like, what the fuck am I just said?
It's like,
don't,
What have we just said, man?
do not say the queen's fat. Do not say the queen's fat.
Fatty!
Queen fatty.
So, Queen Fatty, your feet look stinky.
It's like, oh no. And scene.
So we should be moving. Right now.
The Seventh Eye has told me as such. We've sent word to Alvar, the former champion, and also for a litter to be created, to be crafted for the Queen to be able to travel. Food and water has been prepared as we speak.
Just take mine for fatty. No, for fatty. Don't say that.
Why is she so fat?
Why shouldn't be walking? Walk some of a lardy arse off.
She's pregnant.
Where's that beautiful Queen? I can't say I'm beyond that fatty. Why would you go behind the Queen's back with that thing?
What? Who's the heifer? No. Seventh Islet.
I can't say that because I know it's a queen.
Yeah, but Grombrindal has no filter, apparently.
Apparently.
Yeah.
I wonder if Grombrindal sort of like tries to get past his personal snafus by going, ha ha! Just kidding.
So, when are we leaving?
As soon as
We've just
preparations are being made,
Oh,
we shall be on the road soon. Within the hour.
and how can I help, King?
I think you've done enough, Master Dwarf. Perhaps you
have.
would like to return to your people.
No, I shall be accompanying you.
Comedy wink.
The king's not a Todd. You're that close.
I shall accompany you.
Will you?
He saw that?
You're right in front of me. My attention is fixated on you.
And then you're doing a big comedy wink. Just jumping in the air with your axe.
What did I do?
What?
What? I shall wait outside.
He's very strange. Are all his folk like that?
I think it may have been King that, due to the extreme exertions of the fight with the demons, all six of them apparently he fought elsewhere.
Nothing apparent.
He
He's about that far at the end of the table.
like obviously he is slightly fatigued from his efforts. Make no moment of it. You know, you're not fat, Chris. Perfectly formed.
I thought I was glowing.
Yeah, that's right. You're just glowing. You're not sweating because that's a horse, but you are glowing. Yeah. That is why I believe they're not all like this. I think it's his exertions that has him slightly befuddled.
Yep.
I'm sure he'll be so. Yep.
Around the corner, scale mill.
Scale mill?
Wearing scale
Oh,
mill.
okay.
His beard is stiffened with black resin into a fork. You can see the resin is dulled, but not completely got rid of the grey streaks.
Nice.
You can see a wolf skin cloak upon his padded woolen jerkin, and again with pieces of scale mail across the chest and certain parts of his body. Dual wielding swords.
What was that? Just from the dwarf? Oh, I like you.
You see Alvar, a man that should long have given into the ravages of time, yet still obviously kept himself in shape.
Said Grombrindal. Whoa! He
Comes
works
on the
out.
corner, working his way quickly towards the obvious area of where the king and queen are currently residing. You stand upon the outside the front. The axe is about shoulder height to you, while literally on the ground. You find yourself naturally leaning across the twin blades.
Of course.
Just gently kissing one bicep.
Hey, Alvar.
What's a dwarf? He walks past you. Mikey. I should have been here. Dismissed.
What?
Hey! Get off!
You haven't seen how cool I am? Watch! Oh! Double pecs.
Too late.
Yeah.
Too late. Nice. Too late, old man.
Yeah, you could have had us. As he passes by, he, without, almost without thought, he just taps the down hide, closing the door, stopping the cool getting in. As he as he steps in, he praises the king, the queen, both being treated for their wounds, and he just hits the thong on the side, and the hide falls down across the doorway. You feel the heat build up. As nobody's bothered to sort of like try and do that for the pregnant woman.
This is that big Helga's job. Oh, good.
Old Helga. Yeah. What was she? She was the door closer.
Yeah.
He immediately comes in, kneels down before the king for a moment, then stands up. I should have been here. And the king's, no, Alvar, that was for my father. I would never put you out to pasture, old friend, but you weren't supposed to be there. But you are now. We are going to be heading into the Brackenvalch. The losses today have been heavy, and you will do me the honour of accompanying us on our journey. I want you to protect the queen. It shall be so. I shall not leave her side, my lord. The queen has been administered to, and Alvar takes up a position close by. The hour for preparation goes by quite quickly, and without too much of a delay, you find yourself on the road. You are riding.
Yeah.
The litter has been pulled with the queen. You've got the three warriors are at the back, close by. You ride with. How does Grombrindal deal with the horse? There is a donkey.
Tempting. Put him on the arse. Isn't it an ass? Yeah. Because depends. Some dwarfs, like in our limited experience, I would imagine could trot beside, given that they're have sturdy stamina. Depends on what Grombrindal wants to do.
You find yourself riding northeast along an old forester's trail. Both you and the king, straight backed, trying to keep a straight face, but tittering to yourself at the memory of the horse being pulled forward and being 18 hands. And having Grombrindal go.
Yeah.
He's now currently running beside you.
like a terrier.
These are both sitting there going, didn't think that through.
Yeah, the most dwarf hand.
Behind you is the queen, Alvar, riding beside her. Yeah. And then behind her...
Our horse is always as big.
Just ours.
Yeah, just the human ones. We like to use heavy horses.
Obviously,
6 foot at the top.
The real amusement point that nobody will ever speak of is the fact that apart from yourself, nobody's aware that you're actually a human inside. And of course, you would immediately just sort of went right, sort of grapple yourself up onto this horse, and then you sort of went.
You look on it.
Landed aside before you realise, oh, I'm a dwarf. Yeah. And that's what they're really sniggering about. You're well aware of it, but every time you look at you, they're like. You find yourself able more than easy to keep up the trot pace. You are literally well down there somewhere. There's like
this is fake because we're all like.
So that uncomfortable silence of.
I'm so happy to do it.
You follow the forester's trail as far as any of the Umberogans and any of their particular guests, of course, have gone before the forest thickens and becomes uncut. the day is closing on its at midday period. The warmth of the sun it vanishes behind the thick canopy tree. The cut trunks of the forested trees soon disappear, and you find that the horses become somewhat waylaid by the undergrowth. You, from time to time, literally the undergrowth is so thick at patches that the dwarf vanishes from sight. If it wasn't for the grumbles coming from him and the sounds of snapping branches as he tears his way through this undergrowth. Again, that doesn't really help your mirth. Obviously, you are entering a darker part of the forest where the creatures of shadow like to congregate and fall upon.
Are we already into the Brackenvelsh proper? Or are we
No,
there?
nowhere near. Basically, you've spent most of the day riding away from Reikdorf, entering the forest proper. As the day comes to a close, the ground itself becomes more marshy. The horses are effectively being led. Are you at that point? You have to decide who's going to be up front. Is it going to be Grombrindal? Is it going to be one of the gods? The king himself is just protect the queen.
I think your gods need to scout ahead. But whilst the gods are scouting ahead, and that's what we're telling people, I'm going to be questing out myself, sending out my sensors ahead to look for, basically for Victoria as much as anything else.
You make camp in an area that you feel is, based on the fact that animal life is present. There's nothing untoward, there's nothing dark, at least within a threatening, within your ability to sense it. You know that to push your senses out any further might attract attention. You know also that the Victoria Buso is accompanied by one of the Soviet, if you remember.
Yeah.
It was Hafgrim was being sent to command the Victoria. You haven't felt the presence of Hafgrim, but that doesn't mean that he's not scrying you and seeing your location. You know, from your point of view, it would be almost a Zakanic level error if he wasn't scrying your position and approach. You, in fact, are awaiting contact because you know that Ingvar's instructions are that you two are to work with Buso and the Victoria to make sure that none survive, that none leave the Brackenvelsh. Based on your withdrawn numbers, with your small amount, a Talon of Victoria won't even break a sweat. They wouldn't need Buso, they don't need Hafgrim. A Talon of Victoria will go through the king and these three guys and Alvar. Yeah, they'll probably give a good telling. Some of the Victoria will fall, but in your perceptions, you would assume that a Talon would be able to take care of this problem.
And what I need when we stop for camp, what I need to do and what I will be doing is it'll take some time we need to shield from scrying. We need to make it such that they're not so much. I can't say where I don't know where they are because there's just this big mist around this dot that seems to be moving around. I guess they're in the dot.
It's not like that. It's basically the way that you scry is simply that you're just not there. They can't sense you. It's not like they'd have to know what they're looking for. If they go, I just want to look for a badger. It doesn't work that way. They've got to know what they're looking for, and if they just can't find you, it's not that that's that dot. They just can't find you.
Yeah. Well, I need to spend some time forming that diversion so that because I'm aware that obviously that's what they're going to be doing. That's what they should be doing.
Would you want to do that before you left?
I guess. Yeah.
So it's not something that you just suddenly go bump because where to go?
No, because you told me we discussed in previous weeks that when I was speaking to Ingvar. So I need to just shield them so we make sure that we're not there. That they'll move across us.
And that's it. Basically, they will just be looking for you. It's not just a matter of that dot is a shield. It doesn't work that way.
Right.
Just you can't be found, and you could be anywhere.
But also, obviously, they're in this area. Of course, they're going to be in this area. We know we're going to be there. We also need to minimise the physical signs that will give us away.
Because the Victoria don't care about scrying.
No, but they do have ears.
Yep.
They can probably hear it.
And they can move incredibly silently, and you can't anymore.
Not anymore.
Yeah.
So you want the so basically before you leave, the idea is that they're basically going right. They're going to be moving into location. You cover you protect them. It's not so much a bobble as you ward them from scrying. Everyone that's in the party. So as you leave, they are unaware that you've left. They don't know your location. You start getting on the point. It's a day's. You're closing for the day. You're making camp. Obviously, this is taking a lot of your concentration. It's not exhausting. It's not the hardest thing in the world, but it is when they really, if they were making a concerted effort, they know, they've got a good idea of where you should be. In this case, they shouldn't. They'll be like, well, they could be anywhere at this point. So they are literally a needle in a haystack of needles. So you're doing the most basic of that sense, but you are aware. If anything really sort of like it starts to look through an area, you can become aware of it and increase the power that you put into it. But of course, obviously, as you say, it doesn't protect you from the Victoria, who you'd expect to be scouting the approaches. Now, you are not in the swamplands yet. You are not in the lands of the Hag Queen or Shabak, but you will be there within a few hours of breaking camp.
Right.
And you have to obviously form a plan. So, as the camp is broke, you're advised to stay close, not obviously meet on top of each other, but don't go too far out. The warriors fan out. You've brought food with you. Presumably, you've already mentioned that it's a cold camp.
Yeah.
But wolf pelts are already all over the queen. She's as warm as she can be. She lies on a litter. The king is in close conversation with her. Alvar's close by. You can see that they're having a private moment between husband and wife. And the soldiers are at various different points. You can see, they've got the plaid of the Umberogan tunics and leggings, heavy wolf skin cloaks. They carry axes. They've got the armoured open, the North helm with the nose piece and the cheek guards with the armoured eye slots to protect their cheekbones and eyes. They've all got the plume of the Umberogans. The Umberogan are under the king. It's a tassel that comes up of effectively of horsehair, and they are at 3 different locations in the camp.
I did have a quiet word with the dwarf.
I didn't notice anything because, as Caradak will... I know I'm a dwarf, but I can still track, right? I'm not going to lose that knowledge.
Yeah, you don't lose the tracking knowledge.
So I will keep aware that, say, if this has been disturbed before.
And so I'll give a quiet moment.
You work your way out of the camp proper, so that you can have a private conversation.
Private conversations, basically. I'm just waiting, right. So, dwarf was seen leaving with the king. Caradak hasn't been seen leaving with the king. But dwarf is not suitable for what we need to do, which is to evade a Talon of Victoria. We need Caradak back. We need to create a reason why the dwarf has to disappear, why you come back. You're already out scouting as far as everyone's concerned. You've come back to scout. The dwarf needs to go somewhere. We just need to make some plausible excuse to get rid of the dwarf. You're going out to go, and I think the easiest way is that you're going out ahead to scout, and you can't be dissuaded from it because everyone's going to know that you're useless as a scout. But that's what you're going to do, and then give it about like an hour, and then Caradak will come back saying, "Oh, I saw a dwarf heading in completely the wrong direction. Strange fella." And then you come back in and you be Caradak and do what Caradak does good, because the only way you're going to survive is not a direct fight. Because the dwarf, as good as he is, he won't survive. But if we can manage it so we don't get found, or at least we're forewarned, we've got more chance of surviving. But I don't think that's going to work with the dwarf. What's your thoughts, Caradak? You're the scout.
If you want me to scout, then I will need to become Caradak.
I don't see any reason, any way around it. The dwarf, it's his strengths, but his strengths probably...
But the second we're under attack, or the second we come in contact with the rest of them, I will need to become the dwarf again.
Well, we'll have to be careful how we do that, because it's not a seamless transition.
It's pretty seamless.
It's not instant, though. Caradak will be there 1 second, and then a dwarf will morph out of him.
I don't know. Why don't you,
I've seen you change. It'll be obvious.
Okay.
But yes, I quite agree. But you need to be careful if an attack happens and we're in combat. Yes, the dwarf would be a much better part of the party than Caradak could be. But you just need to be careful how you do it, or else the facade, the sham of Caradak being separate to the dwarf will be obvious to everyone.
Okay. I will scout. Is anyone around?
The major camp, you can locate everybody. I mean, bear in mind that I think the lesson that the Hag Mother was trying to pass is don't get caught up on the dwarf being the answer to all your problems. You've got a lifetime of skill and learning as Caradak, and Caradak is by no means a weakness.
Oh, I know that.
Just in case you think, no, I've got to stay the dwarf. As soon as the fight starts, I've got to be the dwarf.
No, it's just because
the dwarf is supposed to be a key to get you into the dwarf
just
realm.
because of the story that Ulmakor obviously is now saying. Because obviously, if you come across with Ingvar's men, and it's like, well, you said Caradak.
Yeah. But at that point, when we attack and kill all these men, it's probably the ruse.
Yeah, then I can. Yeah.
Then the ruse is probably over anyway because
until that happens,
I'll have to think really carefully and unbelievably, who would have thought Ingvar? We survived, but strange bat creatures came out and killed all your men and Buso and the Soviet. But we survived. Ooh, lucky us.
Okay, so I will walk on ahead.
You can, no matter how much you try, it's louder to you than it is to them, but you can hear the passing of the dwarf as he leaves camp. He's too big, he's too powerful, he's too heavy-footed.
And then when I realise no one can see me, I'll just put
the sound suddenly stop. The actual sudden sound absence makes the nearest guard go.
What is that?
Where's he gone? I can't hear him disappearing off into the distance.
He was just on the other side of this tree. Alvar's like, "Shing to the king!" Oh my god!
Something big.
So yeah, I'm gonna do a full perimeter scan. Scout.
Right. I mean, how far into the darkness are you wanting to go as far as the perimeter is concerned?
Well,
Are you scouting out? Bear in mind that it's a couple of hours away. You can easily get to the direction you're supposed to be going and back again before morning without any
I'll do that.
detrimental effect
Bloody cat.
on you physically.
I'll do that.
So you're heading
I'll just head straight there then if I know where to go.
Like
speed.
an arrow.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's become Assassin's Creed again.
Yep. You
No, that's copyrighted. You have to be something else. Yes. Assassin's Crod.
Assassin's Crod. Assassin's Crod. So good.
Straight to HBO again.
Oh god, Assassin's Crod. I played it. It's a great game.
Yep. Trademark.
I don't own it.
We don't want to get in the Games Workshop habit of stealing things and just claiming it's our own.
Right. You move at pace, the mile-eating pace of the Vakhtari that you've mastered over years of training and experience. You slow down and work your way slowly towards the camp, aware that if the Vakhtari are anything like you remember them of 4 days ago, because literally it hasn't even been a week since you left camp. Just to point that out and remind you.
Yeah, it's only been 4 days. Wow, so much has happened in such a short period of time.
It hasn't. It's been like 5 or 6 nights. Maximum, I think you're into day 6 tomorrow.
For what?
Since you left.
Since we left the
It hasn't even been a week.
Oh, that was longer than that.
No, it
just
just felt like that.
A lot has happened.
Bloody hell.
You approach the area. You become aware, absolutely. In fact, what the instinctive reason that you suddenly stop and and literally lower yourself down into the undergrowth is you become aware a while back, about a mile back, that the ground became swampish. That slowed you down, but you were still able to keep a good pace while moving quietly. Spirit like flitting between the trees. You lower yourself down into the marsh as you instinctively become aware. Initially, not. You just something causes you to stop and crouch, and then you become aware of that. the environment is silent. There's a deathly quietness about it. There is no insects. You're in marshland. You'd expect something, even at night, to be making a sound. There is nothing. That would generally indicate the presence of a predator, or many, whether it be mountain lion or a Victoria squad, even trying to be quiet. You move through the swamp below. Your speed is obviously exponentially slowed down as a result. Ahead of you, you can see through the moonlight that filters in through a clearing, a ramshackle building on stilts, raised up from the swamp. It seems to be built together by somebody that didn't have any concept of what they were trying to make. There's a porch, wooden spurs branch off on either side. You can see that there's a rooftop made of part wood and slate, but there's no light coming from it. It's a distinct structure, but made by a mad person, or as if multiple buildings have been pushed together to form some strange thing that squats somehow menacingly in the trees. You can see movement within. It's sudden movement because you are allowing yourself to see through the moonlight of Moore's Leap in a dark area where there's no unnatural light. There's no light formed of fire. It's in darkness, but the moonlight does shine across the front of the building. Squatting there, you slowly become aware of the presence of people in different locations, so that no one single approach could allow without being identified. You see the shape of the Victoria squatting, looking outwards. While there, as you allow yourself to become one with the environment, you see the door open and you see a Semnathai. He's one of the Soviet. You know the Soviet by name, obviously, and you recognise Hafgrim. Behind him, the Lumbra, the huge shape of Buso, walks out. You can't, without getting much closer, but that would put you into some serious danger. You can't hear what they're saying, because they're keeping their voices down. However, a moment passes, and you see Hafgrim looks out directly at you, stares into the shadows that you've made your own, but says nothing. But you are 100%, you are absolutely positive that he can see you. He's looking. He's literally, he walks out and then he's talking to Buso. Buso's, if you remember, he's another head and shoulders above. He's hugely powerfully built. You know, you can see this the massive axe that he carries, that he wields with one hand. For a big man, he's an axe man. He's powerful, but he's also deceptively fast. Many a time during training, you've been on your arse. And he walks out, and you can see they're talking, and then Hafgrim literally goes, as if you've made a noise, but you know you haven't. And it's almost like your heartbeat itself screams out as if it's going to give your position away. You can feel it hammering in your chest. And he goes, but looks up and then turns away. The look is almost as if to say, I can see you, but for some reason he doesn't tell Buso. There's no shadow of doubt in your mind the way that he went. He walked outside and just went, looked straight into the Chowder's eye. He knows you're there, but he doesn't give your position away. He doesn't inform Buso, or at least not perceptibly does he tell him.
I'll observe for a brief. I'll not move. I just want to see how they react.
The 12 Victoria do not move at all. After that brief moment outside, Hafgrim and Buso go back inside. And they settle down. You can't hear the creak or groan of the floorboards, but nature is disturbed. It does not return.
How many Victoria they got?
12. It's a full talent.
Full talent. Am I aware of what the structure is, where I am?
Unless do you suspect it to be anything? The strength of the Victoria Busso, the Semnathai is all centred on this building.
Okay. I'll recede into the shadows.
Only the sound of the puckering of the
Yeah.
squeaking.
You step back. Are you walking backwards?
No.
You just turn and make the movement. You're moving along, and something. You know what it's like. Just because you are a predator, you're an alpha, but that doesn't mean that you are not also the prey of something. You know what it's like to be hunted, and that imperceptible sort of feeling of something dangerous, something that can kill you, something that is an apex predator is nearby. You hear what sounds like something imperceptibly moving at speed around you. There's no sound of breath, there's no footfalls, but it's something passing by the leaves of a low-hanging branch. You find yourself in a defensive crouch. Are you been carrying did you carry your spear with you? Did you carry your shield? Because this wasn't a combat mission, would you have taken that with you?
No.
You
Just
left
on the
them.
swords.
So you'll eventually...
Yeah, because I don't know how that would work as a disguise. It's like, because if I've got my axe and I become Grombrindal, what happens to the spear? And I don't know.
The ways
Ways of the gods.
of the other realms
Okay.
are beyond you, and it's probably something that you could discuss.
I probably
But
didn't have my spear, but I imagine my shield is always.
actually, you had your shield
I had my shield.
and your spear on you. What did you do with that spear when you put your hand on that dagger?
I can't imagine you would have gone scouting with a really great big spear.
No, not if I'm honest.
The main thing is, back in Reikdorf, you'd walked in to transform for the first time into Grombrindal.
Yeah.
Shield, spear. What did you do with that when you took grip of that dagger? What did you do with the spear? Was it leant against the wall, or did you put it into your left hand?
I think my natural thing would be I would always want to carry
Doesn't want to
my
go to that.
spear.
When you gripped that dagger,
Mm.
where was that spear? And you put it to one side to take a hold of it with your weapon hand, or did you transfer its grip did you transfer it to your left grip? Bear in mind that your shield, as we'd originally described to us,
Yeah,
was
I just want-
it's got double strapping, so you've got freedom of hand. So I don't mind, I just want you to be concise. What did you do? You walked in the room,
Mhm.
you had the spear in that hand, at some point there was no spear there because you had to grip the dagger.
Mm.
What did you do with that spear?
I think I would have changed hands.
Right, in which case,
I would have, but I don't think I would have brought in a scouting mission.
right, well, ultimately,
Yeah.
because you don't know how this all works, when you stepped out the camp as the dwarf, you then went with the axe, with the concept of how the hell do I put that into a scabbard that doesn't exist that small. As you do that, it's the will of what you're willing to do. The axe starts to transform, and as you do that, you find yourself getting taller and taking up less of a white space, and you find the spear is in your left hand.
Right.
So whether you brought it to you, so you haven't brought it with you, admittedly,
Okay.
but you've left it outside a camp,
Right.
but you've got your shield with you.
Right.
Or did you leave your shield?
No, she was always on my.
So
On
you've
my
whacked that on your back.
Yeah.
All right, because remember, it wasn't. So whatever you were doing, whatever you were holding,
Right. Okay.
when
At the
you've
time.
transformed, it's in that hand
Right. Okay.
when you come back. In this case, you were, okay. So your shield's on your back. So basically, you've gone on, as you've moved away,
Mm.
and you haven't travelled far, and you suddenly find yourself crouching down because you cannot see. You're letting your other senses. Shield's on your back. Your swords are still there. Obviously, the Ranald's blade, the blade of Ranald, the Grombrindal blade, is on your lower back. Yeah, on a side scabbard. You haven't drawn any weapons, but you become aware of an imminent threat. Something moving past there. You know, branches that you go and moving, making that flapping sound. The odd splash, ever so gentle.
Of a head exploding.
I will move. I will put me back up against a tree
Right?
so I can see. So I've got at least my 180 vision, and I'm just sort of gonna wait. On guard, ready.
Right. You like that? eyes are open, jaw, you got your mouth open, listening for movement. It's around you. Something's moving around. Something. For a moment, you see the pale flesh, the distinct wiry muscle, and pale, pallid skin in the light of Mosleb. Something goes. Its speed is it's incredible, and it flips from undergrowth to undergrowth, and it's moving towards you at a rapid pace. Your heart, your adrenaline kicks in, about to that, and then you feel the imperceptible, the feeling of a leaf land and slowly pass by. You just feel it go from above. In that moment, what do you?
A leaf.
Yeah.
I don't move or react to the leaf.
You don't?
Not to the leaf. If I know it's a leaf, I'm focusing on whatever's moving, and if a leaf hits me, I'm not moving.
Thing launches forward.
And then I'm just like, then I'll
You get the visual of an elongated jaw.
Right.
Humanoid in shape, long, disjointed fingers, talons. The mouth, as it opens, is long and thin. It's full of rows of predatory teeth designed for rending and tearing. The eyes are black slits that reflect the light of Mansleb as it dives forward. You draw your swords.
I draw my swords, yeah.
As you draw your sword and you move forward, suddenly the air is, first of all, smashed from your lungs as something lands on your back. You feel the shield takes the blow. However, as these claws rake down the back of the shield, they catch your buttocks and down your back of your legs. The blow is enough to drive you flat into the marshy water. Not only is the air punched from your lungs, but you're pushed underwater. So obviously, as you try to breathe in, you take in a massive lungful of brackish liquid, and you feel yourself slammed into the ground. Your left sword is broken from your grip, but you retain the one in your stronger hand.
I'll try and get to my feet, my knees, like scrunch up to defense, and then I'll try and push up to get leverage.
As you, your feet slide into the grime and the mud of the marsh itself. They dig deep. They go down a good sort of, a fair few inches. Alarmingly, you're sinking into the mud.
So as I'm sinking, I'll switch. As I get up, I switch this and hit something.
Fuck you, table!
I'll switch, resheath that sword, and grab the other blade.
So
the Grombrundal blade.
Right, okay. Yep. So as you do, you burst your legs with fine purchase and you come out of the water. There is no, in that moment as you are coughing up lungfuls of liquid, pure instinct drives you to come bursting out this water. Pure bulk, raging power, and dwarf swearing. There is no way that this has not been heard by the Victorian nearby, and you know instinctively that they're moving in your direction. But as you burst out the water, your sudden shape difference dislodges the attacker from behind, but not before you feel a slash across your back as it tries to grab purchase. No longer is it trying to grab her in the shield, it's suddenly trying to grab meat, but this going from the long thin to this pure steel corded muscle, and the plate me on the chain, and you just feel a cut, you feel a telling blow, a slowing blow, one strike to the neck, you feel the fire of injuries to the back of your legs, while you're transforming, as it were, into the heavily armoured Grombrundal. You throw your assailants to one side. The one at the front is in the water below. You see it's feral, very humanoid, but the feralistic view of any human, animalistic, and it hisses as it's crouching down. It is very slightly built, very small, thin human. The one behind you, you yell as its body strikes the tree, and then your axe is in hand. So
I throw that one, it hits the tree.
Yep. The one before you, as you're coming out of the water, you know you're going to come back into the water. So it's right now you went, and it sort of goes, and you're going to come down, and it's going to be high height.
That's not like gravity. I mean, I'll let gravity do all the work anyway. So
Right.
as I'm coming
Like
down,
a cannonball.
I'll land.
Your axe
ready.
cleaves this
Yeah.
creature. That takes that moment of uncomprehending what's just happened. Your axe cuts straight through, down through part of its head, through its midriff. It severs half one shoulder, head, and arm, which fall apart in a viscous spray.
And then I will turn once I land, get my feet balance, turn around, spin around,
You're
and see.
coughing up lungfuls of water.
Right.
You're not that effective. You are blindsided by the water. You flail around. Now, as you've come out, you've seen your target. You knew where it was from coming. You strike down, but you're still there. You're trying to clear your eyes. You're coughing up volumes of swamp water.
Right. I'll just try and compose myself. And once the vomiting subsides and I can gain some composure.
It's not vomiting.
Oh,
You know, you're
just bringing up
you're
the
explosively
explosive,
discharging
right.
swamp water. That, bear in mind that as you were punched in the ground, and actually the air's been punched out your lungs, and as it was drawn back in, you're underwater. So you can imagine you've literally just filled your lungs with this, and you've come up with, you're spitting it out. It's coming out of you. It's almost dilapidated, and you're purely instinctive when you've killed this creature before you. You stagger back, trying to give any gap, not sure where it's going to come from, just to give you time. As you bring up this water, you're flailing out with your axe, you're staggering back. You find yourself hitting something behind you. You're aware it's a rock or a tree. The water is just, it's about waist height to you anyway. Yeah.
nothing.
Can't see anything. Your eyes adjust to the darkness and start pushing out. You look around, you're scanning. Again, you throw back this.
This time my vision's
white
better
hair.
now, is it?
Oh yeah, 100%. I mean,
Right.
you can see deep into the darkness around you.
So
You look back towards the camp. Your eyes can see the dotted silhouettes of the Vaktori. Busso, by sheer raging inferno of heat, is back on the porch. The Vaktori, true to their training and experience, have not moved. They haven't all congregated in one area like lesser warriors would. The ones nearest to you are very much looking into the darkness, but they've got the frailty of human eyesight, but they're not moving out into the darkness. Almost like, you've obviously been told, do not move, but they're not engaging. You get the impression that they probably know what's out here. You turn round and you can't see anything. You can't see the corpse, which should rapidly be cooling. You can't see it's the corpse before you. The trees around you are a certain form of life. They give off a certain permitted heat that they've soaked up during the sun's rays from the trunks above, but there's no beating heart. You're not seeing the creature that
I would
assailed
head
you.
back. I'll head back.
Look over your shoulder, you can see all eyes are directly at where you are, as they're aware of something big and ponderous running off suddenly.
Under the sound of an elephant.
That seems to put them on guard a bit.
Yeah.
That's not what I was expecting. Then very quickly, distance between you and the encampment.
You need to make the trumpet sound of an elephant. Oh my god, it's one of those feral elephants in the area. Demon elephant.
Right. Holy shit.
You're off.
Yeah, I'm off.
On your toes.
I'm keeping this eyesight while it's dark. And then,
But not the stealthiness.
but I think I'm hoping that the way I see it in my mind is that the Vaktori don't know what's out there. They're like, fuck that.
Yeah.
I don't really want to find out what that is.
We haven't actually been told to go to here.
There's-
So well maintained.
There's
steely
dark
resolve.
things in this forest.
Yeah, steely resolve. Yeah, that's good. Yeah. Keep the plan, guys. Keep to the plan.
And I'd rather have these eyes. So
If you're going to keep this shape in the early hours of the morning, you come charging into the camp effectively, yeah?
yes.
Well before he arrives,
The sound of
completely oblivious to what's coming, but everybody's like, shield wall! Ah! Alvar's like, shing! The king's there with his axe in hand, they can see them getting ready, and then he comes out, literally just swamp, dried mud, dirt. His beard is tangled with weed and all kinds of things that only the undergrowth can possibly produce. The small squirrel goes angrily shouts at him and shuts off.
I'll turn down the incandescent power range.
You're like,
Oh,
he's like,
it's gonna go somewhere. Oh, I'll just let it go.
Down, man.
strike the fat woman.
Yeah.
It is I, Grombrindal.
Oh, here he goes. Yeah, we sort of gathered that one. Behold!
It is I, Grombrindal.
Behold my mighty axe.
I have scouted.
Oh God.
I do not see many gods.
You scouted?
You can see two of Albor. You can see basically two the warriors are sort of looking to see what's chased you back into the underlight.
Nothing has chased. Nothing has. I was attacked by some unknown beast. I've never seen its like before. There were two of them.
Have they tracked you back here? Have you slain them? Say some random voice of concern.
Yeah, like have you just brought them back straight
I
to
have
us
slain one.
and enraged the other.
The other one's really pissed off. I think I killed its mate.
Yeah.
And I don't mean its friend.
No, that's lifelong mate, you know.
No, I definitely slayed one.
What about the other one?
I have no idea.
Oh, good. Well, you've
But I can say for what
I'm just looking down through the forest packers. It's like it just like
I can
feral
say.
eyes.
like, and also just like the entire road just like burst and like one big Buso, like just looking straight down like.
Oh, he's not stopping.
Yeah, well done.
No, I can say for certainty that we have not followed.
You can feel
Oh my God! What was that?
you can feel the burning sensation that's coming from these injuries. They cut down the back of your neck. Several strikes to you.
I seem to be
back.
wounded.
He steps into well, you've got no fire. So you have a natural affinity for the night, and you can
In a good way.
as you
Not
step
like I am there.
forward to the camps. He staggers, he sort of moves forward and staggers. He comes to the cabin as it calms down and people get back to sort of, okay, well, we killed here. And the calmness starts to descend. You can see he's got a deep, really deep cut, bladed weapon perhaps to the back of the neck. But you can see he's lost a fair bit of blood. They're not shallow cuts down his lower end, back down his legs. You can see that, even though he's soaked, you can see that the heat that, it's congealed with blood.
Right. Okay. We need to have a look at your wounds, Grombrindal. You seem to have taken some damage.
It seems that way. So, which one of you is the healer?
Look at that. Ooh, that looks angry.
You do remember that the Dwari, or Dawi, are pretty resistant to your abilities.
Oh.
In all respects.
Excellent.
It's a dual-edged sword in that sense,
Right. Okay.
according to what Godric told you of the times that the Seventh Eye have warred against them, the hill folk.
Right. Well, we need to get some of the warriors to actually put on some practical salves and bandages and get the really practical stuff because my skills are challenged by your innate abilities, Master Dwarf. Just bend over that log, he'll sort you out.
Of course, you're thinking, if Caradak turns up and has the exact same injuries now, because you're looking at that neck and that needs stitches. I mean, that needs to be proper bandaged up. He's being hacked a bit down his back end. Potentially life-threatening, especially in the conditions that he's been running through.
Right.
Okay.
We need to get some field
How does it
stitching going.
how does
Maybe
it-
Zalvok, it's one of the.
God, there it is.
Cortex cat and
That's what attacked me.
chocolate starfish. You you tend to the wounds anyway as best you can because there's natural cleaning, and that needs to be done and bandaged up and that sort of thing.
Did you see anything while you were out there other than these things?
You could see down the whereas in your mind you know that Caradak wears a leather breastplates and backplate. Gromrildal seems to be in a form of plate and chain. The straight to the back has left a large hooked claw.
Oh,
That's been ripped, torn from the creature that has struck him from behind it. You can see it's still partially embedded and has been working its way into the upper shoulder muscle.
It's still
Yeah.
motile, as it were.
So basically what's happened is it's went ripped and the arm has caught it, and as he's been running it's been caught partway in the chain and partway inside his shoulder, working, just literally as he's been moving, the arm is pushing it up and
So
down.
it's not that it's moving of its own.
No, it's not a lot, no.
Yeah. Okay, well, I'll take this thing out carefully and inspect it. Does it give off a stench? Is it rot?
Yeah,
Is
it's
is it the sort of thing that I'm thinking, this is going to be an infected wound?
This is an infected wound. You can see it's an infected wound. Based on your lessons as a young Sakanik, this is a Skriani talon.
Oh, right.
Once man, when fed, they're either whatever they attack is either food, but anything that survives turns into one of them. Their attacks are incredibly infectious. And they're given up to some kind of strain that feeds not only upon itself, but needs the flesh and the blood of man. They were a scourge of the tribes in the Reich Basin until such time as Redmin Drago, the current king's father, pushed them back into the Bracken Valley swamps, slaughtered them, a massive campaign to eradicate them.
Do we have any sanitary institutional knowledge about how the Skriani, I say virus, whatever it is that's causing them to turn, as affects the hillfolk? Are they
No
immune?
idea. You know that the hillfolk are considered to be, and this is through, no, you would never want the hillfolk to know about those captured and what was done. They are very, well, their constitution is incredibly resistant.
Yeah. We know because
disease.
we've asked them many questions involving pincers and,
Yes,
and hot irons and stuff
absolutely.
like that.
Yeah. But you know that there'll be a paling of the skin as the blood vessels themselves are eaten by this virus, that they become weak and gaunt as the virus eats their core. You don't know personally of any Skriani attacks on the hillfolk, what happens. You do know that these injuries on, say, a Victoria or human would be fatal.
Do have the Semathai the ability to treat
Yes.
a human who's been attacked by the by the
You know how
Skriani?
to you know how to call upon the power to purge.
Right.
If you wish, you know how to purge.
But I can't do it on
the
a-
foul elements.
With his innate ability to withstand.
There's also the fact that if you call on the powers, they'll know you're here.
Well, that could be modified. It doesn't have to be like a big showy bolt of lightning comes streaking down from the sky. But the main thing is, there's no point in doing it because
Yeah. It won't work.
my
This
skills
won't-
on you, Master Dwarf, are will not work.
I mean, this isn't like oh, doof, bomb, he's done next day. It takes days depending on the attacks, the injuries sustained. These are, compared to a normal attack by a Scrani, would leave a person devastated. Muscles rent. Massive tears in the neck. They'll go within a couple of days. These, for Caradak, as an example, would be fatal, but it could take up to a week, maybe longer, before his body would succumb.
Right. So
So it's not instantaneous. It's not instant life
but
threatening.
we'll need a watching brief on you because I don't think we've got. We'll just have to give a watching brief on you because we don't have days to sit back and watch you.
Okay. So there's absolutely nothing that anyone here can do.
Other than tend your physical wounds and sew them up.
Am I going to die?
I have no knowledge of how this effect works on the hill folk. It's fatal for humans.
How do I feel?
Um,
Does it feel like it's affected me?
No, you can't feel that in the sense you don't feel a fever or anything like that.
Right.
You feel the pain of having your meat slashed several times. That feeling of having a bladed weapon sliced through the upper levels. There's dermal layer sort of damage here, but it's not stabbing penetration. It hasn't damaged any internal organs. It's going to be puckered up. It's going to scar. It's going to hurt. But you wouldn't be able to handle much more of this without it being a dilapidating. But right now, you're kind of like, okay, this hurts, but I can fight on. Bandage me up, let me get back in the fight. You are heavily invigorated by Grombrindal's natural reserves. The strength of the dwarves, really.
So I'll allow the human folk to patch me up.
Okay, they tend to your wounds as the sun starts to break its way as best it can through the heavy canopy. Meanwhile, you've had time to talk
to
Ulmakor.
Ulmakor, yeah.
Mhm.
And
As they've
obviously
gone through
I'll,
various different...
I'll debrief him about Halfgrim, Buso, and obviously the Talon of Actari.
Then Halfgrim saw you.
I'll describe the structure in the Marsh. Yes.
The structure he described, obviously, is what you remember Godric explaining how the Hag Mothers...
So they're inside where the Hag Mother...
Yes. Based on what Godric told you, there's two approaches that are level with what he describes as the porch. You don't remember it describing it being raised, but it's easy for you to realize, to think, or to imagine that that's the back end of it, that's part of it that's on stilts, and that the front end will be the dry point that you remember Godric explaining how he and his companion approached the Hag Mother's hovel.
Now, did Halfgrim send those beasts?
Some of the I don't have any truck with the Skriani as such. We're aware of them.
So why did he not inform Buso?
Well, he may just be aware that... I don't know.
Is he on our side? Is he with us?
I didn't think so. I thought that he was in under Ingvar's control.
How do you want to play that?
I need to get in there.
Can you not do your...
I'm going to get there through a different method that you won't see, and hopefully Buso won't see, or the Vaktari. I need to quest there, but I need to do it quietly, with the gentlest of touch.
Okay.
To scry, get inside to see what has happened, and where the Hag Mother is. She should be there, and she should be a being that would not be lightly and easily displaced, even by a Soviet.
I
Do you
don't
think
understand
have you been followed? Is the question, because there seems to be a rather large trail that's obvious. Because it looks like a large, heavy dwarfs just ran through. Even I could follow that trail.
2 hours straight line.
Yeah. Do you think he deviated? Not really.
Not the slightest.
No. It's just trees all over the
Some
place.
ancient trees are now trodden to death.
Why don't I rest and you do your thing?
Sounds like a good idea.
Great. And then we can assess how much they know.
I will also say to King Bjorn, your men need to be on the heist. There's things out there that may be still heading our way. Master Dwarf has done his best. However, as we all realise, his skill set perhaps does not lend itself towards being discreet and stealthy. If there are more of these things out there, they may be heading our way.
As you command. As you advise.
But it's
He
also
deals with the camp breaking up. Not breaking up, but settling it down. Alvar. Well, he tells Alvar. Alvar?
yeah, you do it.
Yeah. And he's at the ready, but you see he approaches the Queen, and though he doesn't by any means lie down beside her, get all cuddled up and cosy, he gets as close as he can for comfort, or her comfort and protection. And Alvar has the guards on alert, but aware that he's going to alternate them so that they get some sleep, and not all as good as the Vaktari. None of them are. Leaving you to rest, and for you to...
Yeah, I need to find a quiet spot and basically just seep into my senses, and then send my senses questing ever so gently with the tiniest of footprint whatsoever towards where I know the Hag Mother's area to be.
Okay. You're aware as you get close, well before you get to the Hag Mother's encampment, that the swamps are disturbed. There is no large life. Even in the swamps there's going to be large mammals, there's large amphibians, there's life that you would normally sense. There's nothing. Everything of a certain size has either left the area as simple as put. It's dead.
Mm-hmm.
And since the Hag Mother is supposed to be an aspect of the ancient widow, but was originally called Shabak, the god of fens and swamps, I just think life would be quite strong in this environment.
Mm-hmm.
There's nothing.
No, it's a sense Scriani in.
That's the thing, is you've never been this is something to do with being part of Tal. So what you are aware of is something that's wrong with nature, that is corrupts nature, and though you'll never be able to. So you remember you might be able to find a bear, but you can't find a beastman.
Mm-hmm.
You're just aware that there's something wrong, and that nature's avoiding it. That's what you're feeling about this entire swamp. Everything about it. As you pass by into the swamplands and go deeper in, there is no life until such time as you come across the camp itself. You can pinpoint the bacteria in the darkness. You're aware that you could reach out and impact, affect them in some way, but you see this building in the centre of the camp, and you can feel the corruption emanating from within it.
Do I sense any discrimination in terms of life forms? As in, do I know how many people are in there, or is it just
the corruption comes from a large, something large within there? You can feel the corruption of soul, the corruption of mind. You can feel Buso, and you can see the muted life force. It's an exercise that the Semathai do when they want to sort of blend in with themselves, become less of a threat. An enraged bear, it's a technique that allows you to pass by where nature, predators, including man, would want to do you harm. It's a defensive technique, and you can sense Hafgrim. You're confident enough that you can effectively pass through the wall and look inside the chamber. If you see fit, there's nothing about Buso's corruption that you feel is a threat directly to you. And as you do so, you can see that Hafgrim sits in the centre of the room. Around him are wards, and these wards are protection against evil.
right?
Very core human. Like the Semathai, especially Soviet, have long since gone beyond that. It's crude, it's panicked. To be in such a state of mind that you'd fall upon such crude, powerless amulets and protections. These wards are minor at best. Mere charlatans and shamans.
And the Soviet wouldn't go for that if you actually. So
it shows that his state of mind is such, and then the overwhelming presence of Buso.
So what I would surmise is that if I was in that same position beside Buso, being that I'm also a Soviet, there's no way I couldn't know that something's not right with this character.
Absolutely,
right beside me.
Yeah.
And given the fact with Hafgrim was always in Ingvar's pocket.
Absolutely.
And obviously now Hafgrim doesn't seem to be particularly happy with his current situation.
Absolutely not. He's literally given up. If he could have a klaxon, it would be going off. You can't look at this beyond. There's a message in this somewhere.
And what's other than these useless wards? What else is he doing? Is he just?
He's just sitting there,
trying to be non-effective.
Trying
to just. I'll just blend in. I'm a table. Hey, crazy thing.
Yeah.
I'm a table.
Yeah. Other than that, your mind is brought to this. You're drawn towards, for want of a better word, a cooking pot, a large cooking pot. Horrific. You're just drawn towards something, pulls your gaze towards it, your mental gaze, and you become aware of the remains cooked of a female.
So I'm making a leap that the Hag Mother is currently no more, and my background knowledge, because obviously when I met her, she was, I didn't meet her as such, that I was aware of. Hag Mothers aren't easily overpowered.
No. Armies have tried. There's a reason that where they are is the power of the, where they are.
Yeah.
Swamps, everything about them. The Semathai are no match for a Hag Mother.
Particularly in her power base inside a swamp, right at the core, and yet this one doesn't seem to have survived.
No, and you can't see any real true evidence of the building itself or large battles. You can't see huge death from nature's, where nature's flocked to defend. There's no show of power. There's nothing here. The other thing is large usage of magic. Of usage of power leaves a scar. There's nothing. There's no evidence that the Hag Mother seemingly put up a fight for something of a creature. Because let's be honest, it inhabits the form of a human. It starts off as a human, but it very quickly, when the Hag Mother is an entity, there's no evidence that this entity put up a fight or a struggle. Especially against a misogynistic Buso, there's no Hag Mother that you'd ever know. Any of the teachings would say that the Hag Mother would suffer Buso in a swamp.
Yeah.
But
Well, this one didn't.
something overpowered the Hag Mother, an aspect of the Ancient Widow, without it being able to do anything about it.
When
And it cooked it,
and could have ate it.
very likely, or possible, I should say. Definitely feasted on its flesh.
I'm gonna withdraw, and I'm gonna try and I'm moving back very, very, very touchy, feely, catchy monkey, slowly. Not making any sound or sneak out. I want to sense whether the Vactaria or in a
Very uncomfortable. The essence about them, their essence, whatever word you want to, the feng shui.
The feng shui.
The way that they decorate their homes.
Yeah, they've put their chair to the west by that tree.
Essence
Yeah.
is very uneasy. And fear, which is something that you've never seen in the Vactaria.
But not the corruption that I'm getting from
No.
Buso.
No. They're cold, they're hungry, that's acceptable, that's been seen before, and that's something that they can deal with. It hasn't sort of dulled their senses, but there's a tinge of fear. It has a green, yellow, appearance of sickliness.
How far away
soul and
is this camp from us?
2 hours.
2 hours. Right, I'm going to pull back into my body.
Okay. All that took mere moments.
So I will just rest here and you go off and do your thing.
Yeah, I'll come back round B. Right, I finished.
And you're like, what?
Yeah.
Having just went,
Still a bit of a kip.
I'm done.
I'm done now. What? We're not going that way. The Hag Mother is no more. The entity that inhabits the Hag Mother is not here anymore, and I see no value whatsoever in springing that trap. There's something out there. Buso is something that I don't know what he is, but I see no value now in carrying on this charade that we're going to spring that trap.
Did you speak with
Halfgrim he's on his own now. I'm thinking we just don't even bother going there. There's no value. I see no value there at all. There is no Hag Mother to talk to. She's gone. All we would be doing is fighting that thing that is Buso.
But I thought Hag Mother was this almighty entity.
Yeah, exactly.
She has been defeated.
Might have been just, though obviously it was a lesser thing. By you can't compare a single. So you couldn't compare the council or the Samnithai against the Hag Mother. I mean, it's an entity of pure primordial titan-like power. But even Halfgrim is more than capable. He's nowhere near your power level, but he's more than capable of destroying a mortal, Buso as you knew him.
Yeah, exactly. But
a week ago, and Halfgrim is
exactly. He's like, I'm not here.
yeah.
I'm
Never
not
mind,
here.
so even though it's a lesser thing, you can't compare it.
No.
I just wanted to point out that Halfgrim's obviously no, he hasn't taken care of. He's definitely feeling something, and obviously, because Halfgrim could not take out a
Hag Mother.
A Hag Mother.
But he should be able to take out Buso. The fact that Hag Mother's gone, Buso's still there, and Halfgrim's also going I don't want to. I don't see any value in carrying on the charade. We're not taking the king and queen to be slaughtered. That's not happening.
To be head where? To the mountains?
We need to get out of here as fast as we can. There's something over there. There's a trap that if we were to spring that trap, for what purpose? For what end? To fight whatever that Buso has become, or whatever was used to kill or dispose of the Hag Mother, with half a retinue of not even the king's prime guards, just what was left of his guards.
What are you going to tell them?
That things are changed, and that we're going to have to seek out the dwarves. I have to think about this. We have to. The king believes that his wife's fate is predicated, and himself and his unborn child is predicated on meeting the Hag Mother. The Hag Mother is no more. I need to think of a way of not startling our king to thinking that is his end now. It's all gone because he couldn't make his way to the Hag Mother. But I'm certainly not going to do that by letting him fight it out with whatever that is over there. You're already injured. We've got. I couldn't fight the Hag Mother, so I'm not going to start piling in there.
Then we continue on. Well, not on. We go in reverse. Head to the mountains.
Yes, but the tale to be told. I know the tale to be told. I know the tale to be told. Follow my lead. We're heading to see the dwarfs.
Right.
And the dwarfs have an answer to the king's quest in terms of his unborn child. Alright.
You're in Talutan land by now. You crossed out of the Unberogen when you crossed the branch of the Reich.
We are.
So you're up.
That's the Seventh.
That's the Seventh Eye.
No, that's
that's the Barren Hills. That's the Seventh Eye.
Yeah. Yeah, that's.
Yeah. So you basically have moved into the Talutan land. So you're around about there.
Where's the dwarfs?
So, well, you know that they're in the World's Edge Mountains because they're called the World's Edge because that's the edge of the world. And then there's the Grey Mountains to the south. Your visions have been to the south of this area.
Right.
Perversely, though, as you grow up, they were always to the far east.
Right.
However, the later ones is you saw a piece of the Cobbets strike the land, the mountain range. It was the Grey Mountains to the south. The ever-changing aspect of your visions. So, yeah, you need to... you're currently in the southern area of the Talutan tribe. You could pass back into the Unberogen lands.
Or we could go through the Osborne and down that side.
Yeah.
And then come through and bypass Reikdorf. Well, bypass all the lands, to be fair, not just Reikdorf. Yeah. I think that's what we should do, but I need to speak to the king.
Okay.
And I'll go and see the king and just...
you wake him and ask him to come with you
a
moment?
And just
right.
pull it one side and say, the news I bring is not good, but it's not final. The Hag Mother is no more. The Hag Mother is gone. There is something only a few hours away, something of absolute raw and menacing power that has done the Hag Mother in. But in her final gasps...
just totally done her in.
Yeah. She's gone.
She's gone.
In her final gasps, she left a message that was clear as day to me, for me, to let us know that in terms of the effect of on your unborn child is not the end because the Hag Mother is no longer there. She sent us to quest to meet with the king of the dwarfs, the mountain folk. He has answers that will help your unborn child, but there is nothing but death up ahead.
He looks nervously towards his wife. You're aware that she's imminent. Days. Can't make it to the mountains.
Your son will be fine, but
what of Ulrich's will?
Ulrich, the Hag Mother, is a representation of the forces that Ulrich is part of, and she is bringing that message from the gods that we need to seek out the dwarfs.
So Ulrich's anger towards my tribe is sated.
It has been completely overtaken. His focus is now on the evil that is now dwelling in the Hag Mother's area. Something has come and has upset the balance. Something that, as you can see from our dwarf, the Skriani are back.
My father did war against such a time that the Skriani would be able to build their strength and wage their war once more upon our tribes. We thought their strength was broken, that never again would they pose a threat, but if it is such as now, then they are a threat to all the tribes. What of Reikdorf? If we head to the mountains to seek guidance?
It is guidance, and the king has. There is a power now forming that is bringing the Skriani back. If we break the power, the Skriani will become nothing but a memory and ineffectual. Reikdorf is safe inside its walls. Reikdorf has many men with many good spears. It isn't the focus of this power's attack. The focus of this power's attack is you, my king. Therefore, we need to take you and your queen as far away as we possibly can. And the dwarfs apparently have an answer.
That's the will of the gods, as the will of the gods. And you obviously, you are served. The end of a Hag Mother. Normally I would rejoice. But if it is the will of the gods and that Ulrich is
Ulrich is not angered. Ulrich's focus is now on bigger things. And the bigger things is the effect of this power on all the tribes of men.
So we head south.
We head south.
To the Grey Mountains.
And we do it as fast as we can. But we also prepare, the joyful news is, we will prepare for the imminent arrival of your child, King.
Of course, and perhaps as a boon, it is foretold, old Drago used to say, that it was a boy.
Well, we shall find out. That's one of the mysteries of life you don't get to know until eventually he or she makes its arrival.
This is good news. This is joyous news.
Even though you've just said his son's going to be okay.
His child's going to be okay.
You said son.
Said the dwarf from his sleep.
I heard you say son.
He shall be a boy! He shall be strong and masculine.
You shall.
Just at the back. Just got a few logs. Every day's an home day. Home day.
To the south, our journey will take us. We will, of course, without question, follow you, Semnathai.
But we need to do this with stealth, and we need to do this quickly. There is something only a few hours away that would seek everyone's death, and that would not be would that be a bad thing for us, but it would be bad for man. Therefore, we need to pick up our camp and quietly withdraw. There may be more Skriani in the area. We need to be aware of that, and we need to get out of here.
You call this sort of a great camp. We no longer need to walk deep into the great forest. We shall follow our Semnathai and our gracious Master Dwarf. We head south to the Grey Mountains.
Just pulling out a few more reps. Oh yeah, look at that. Feel the burn.
We'll leave it there. As the camp breaks and you start heading south toward the Grey Mountains. That was a deviation. Whoa!
Games Master's like... And
it's gonna...
Shink!
It's gonna...
GM's just like, oh great.
It's gonna... No, it's not. We're not stupid.
Yeah.
That's the thing is, the whole point is, I've got to write on various different sides. I mean, you could have got to this point a lot sooner in the night. I'm aware of what happens in the south. I'm aware if you take the people that way. And of course, it's using your skill set. It's using what Ulmakor and Caradak have to open that door, to have that knowledge of what's coming, not to just blindly go charging in and go, all right, we've got to trip the trap because that's what's got to be done.
We've got hideously accurate.
Sod that.
We've got hideously accurate hero weapons. We can't fail. Oh, apparently going to fail.
Oh, look, I'm being eaten.
Yeah. Smog. I could beat Smog. Really? No. Apparently you can't.
And Smog went, I can eat Barrowtown.
Yeah. Too easy. What?
And Smog didn't.
Yeah. Gavel and arrow.
Black iron.
Yeah. None shall pass. It is but a scratch. No, I think that...
guy with a gay name.
I think that... Really?
Bored.
Who managed to get 2 bits of broken arrow and still it works and physics is all wrong and then he gets a really heavy, massively heavy iron and it works on a really...
Which we originally had a design flaw and stuck it in that ridiculously thinner tower.
Yeah, it's just like... yeah, anyways. But it still goes true and...
It finds that one spot on that one... No.
Yeah, no.
Smog didn't see that coming.
Yeah, no, that was...
But
that's alright because he had a love interest from Tariel. Yeah, I've read that book. Don't remember Tariel in there at all. But I think, look at the common sense is that the Semnathai and the Vaktari, whilst they may be killing machines and they're not stupid as well. Well, I can go and then spring that trap. It's already eaten a Hag Mother. I'm pretty hard. Oh, I'm not that hard.
I remember you did have a vision of Buso standing upon standing in the marsh upon the remains of the dead, and his eyes were pools of tempest energy.
Yeah, I'm not going to get that fight at the moment.
That was a pre-warning as well. Wasn't it?
It's like, I'm going to keep my powder dry on that one. Yeah, I think discretion's the greater part of valor. Whereas he's like, I'm gonna. Maybe we can get. I can get another like 300 or 400 miles behind the line, and then direct the men in their fight. You need to go over there, and the Skryani coming. I'll just be in the mountains.
Well, put it this way: the Skryani, which attacked you as a sole individual outside of they weren't even willing to go. There's a huge build-up, so the Hag Mother's gone, which means
Fair game.
we can go and eat everything now, because that's obviously what's been keeping the Skryani weakened. The Hag Mother's gone. Look at all that heartbeats.
Yeah, woo!
And they went, no.
No, well, wait. That's just.
I mean, you know what the Skryani are? The Skryani are a strain of vampiric. They are horrific killing machines themselves, but they're not willing to go near.
Well, we could have you, but.
Oh, look, there's one.
Yeah, well,
Get him!
There's a dwarf. Woohoo! Oh, there wasn't a dwarf. There was a man. There's a man dwarf.
Yeah.
Man dwarf.
There's a single one of them. Let's eat it.
Yeah.
Turn it into a dwarf and cut him in half.
Yeah. But no, there's no. I still stand by that one. Looking back, although it may cause the GM now to be going
Not the
great.
slightest.
I'll have to just start right now for Christmas. I shall be mostly writing a brand new.
What I visualise now is that you've got literally the Fellowship of the Ring as the come above the mountain. You know, like like Jackson did. It used to be in the music videos where you could see there's the rock face and they all.
Oh yeah, they all come through.
They step through, and that's what I'm visualising. Is you've now got this desperate flight south of the Semnothai, who's not. I can't wait to see how you try to work your way through either A. Feck it, I'm not talking to Ingvar.
Yeah.
And that's just kind of opening the door.
Ulmakor is not able to take a message at the moment. Please leave him after the tone.
So, has Ulmakor broken that that path now backwards? You are broken from the Semnothai. Vaktori, you've got Caradak, that's being. His life is in the balance now while he's the dwarf, while he's Grombrindal. Grombrindal will obviously get you a lie, effectively. You're walking that eggshells with Caradak, stroke Grombrindal. He's got to.
It's all down to.
I'm the White Dwarf.
It's
I'm
all
with the Dwarf King.
It's all down to Grombrindal. He's got to pretend that he is actually a fully functioning dwarf with and knows all the intimacies. It's all down to you.
And this is at the same time as Caradak's getting his first freedom in life and struggling with talking to a human. Now and then, where's the king? I'm right here. You've been talking to me.
Yeah.
I don't think the dwarves are going to handle that one very well. Where's the king? The dwarves, which are
You're look-alike.
immune to magic. And are you Grombrindal? Are you magically are you looking like him? Are they going to look straight through it? I am Grombrindal.
No,
Why have they just immediately beheaded everybody?
Yeah.
'Cause,
No, you're not. And then also you've got an infection that I can't actually treat while you're Grombrindal.
Yeah.
Oh, and also obviously, then I've got a Soviet who's currently in a hut with a rabbit's nose twitching away like, oh, I don't want to be here. And so what's Busa going to do? Is Busa just going to eat him? And so is Ingvar going to find out things aren't quite right? Or is he going to be sold some lie that Busa tells him that I did something? It's all going to happen. And it's all down to Grombrindal. Everything hinges on how you interpret that.
No problem.
How did the dwarves deal it?
Kick back now. Ulmakor gets his not down to me
Well,
now.
of course, that's the other thing, is you're now going into a kill-on-sight environment.
Yeah, and that's okay because that's...
So he's going to be in charge.
Oh, God.
And
Shall we kill him?
your
Yeah.
very survival...
It's based on me. Why is he just scraping all these tattoos?
You see him every morning, and just before bed, fireball.
I survived.
So yeah, your interactions will be kill on sight, which means that they're going to see humans, but they're going to see Grombrindal, the ancient,
Or not.
or not. There's
I am Grombrindal.
There's a Vaktori walking to the front, all cocky as shit, with a Semnothai. We're just going to fill them full of crossbow bolts while we work out. No one's kill them all.
Yeah.
They've got one of their women folks pregnant. Kill them all.
Yeah, they're an easier target.
But I'm Grombrindal. You're really not.
Why are all the axes heading towards me?
So
So,
that's if you get to the mountains, of
Yeah,
course.
but will they
Will Buso give chase?
will they actually recognise Grombrindal? Do they know who Grombrindal is?
Everyone
Do you know
knows.
anything about the dwarves?
No.
Then let's find out together.
Oh, this is going to be great.
And then even better, even if they go, I am Grombrindal, and they go, huh?
Yeah, that's going to be awkward.
You
one.
who? You know,
I am
Grombrindal.
Grombrindal. He'll be like,
Or alternatively, they know exactly.
Well, he's doing this, and you see them all kneel, and you go, well, that really worked. Then you look behind him, and engraved into the ancient stone of Caradak as Caradak.
Yeah.
it's Grombrindal.
You're,
Hey.
well, that's a bit of luck.
Or
The
alternatively,
chosen one. What's he chosen? He's going to pick the arse out of the ogre. Oh, that wasn't. That's a double-edged sword as well.
or alternatively, they know exactly who Grombrindal is, and you go, I am Grombrindal. They go, it's a Victory.
And then
It's a
kill the
6'2" bloke.
Meanwhile, the Cenothire's going, fireball, fireball, fireball. He's really good at this crossbow. Yeah.
Just eat the fireball.
Look at the size of that arrow. So yeah.
I'll deflect it with my shield. Boom. Shing. So, yes. So we find out next year.
Next year.
Next year.
Season break.
Wow.
Season break.
Wow. Well, the GM quickly.
I think that there's.
Kane, it's Christmas Day. Shut up.
Care for nothing. Leave me alone, family. Holt hasn't actually spoken yet, but of course, we'll be joined by a new member of the Cortex team.
Unless he's not there, in which case you're sacked.
Hope he's a king.
You really think I'm going to
Hold the king.
That'd be easy.
I don't think it would be.
Yeah.
He would be so power crazy.
Yeah.
He'd just be that. Grummindal, yeah, I hate him.
Yeah, never liked
And I'll
him.
be like, you usually write a note. You don't hate him, it's fucking Grummindal the Ancient.
Yeah.
Nah, I don't like him.
Attack on sight.
Yeah.
Let's invade the Umorogan tribes. Kill everyone. What? What? I like the dog.
What the hell? Yeah, I want to head north.
I want to join with my brothers in the north. What? And so began the Chaos Dwarves. Led by King Holt. What?
Forward! Yeah, by the time you get there, there's just an empty hold. What happened? Well, I got a message in the background. I'm with the king, am I? Yeah, I fucking leave.
Yeah. Just, we attack. We attack. Head north to our brothers. Whoa. I always like that black studded stuff.
Do we know where the Druid Enclave is? Yes. Kill them all.
Yeah.
But I'm going to leave that. I'm going to leave the leader alive as a warning to all the Seventh Eye.
Great. Yeah. So are you there, Holt? Have you?
He hasn't spoken.
He's gone to
I
sleep.
think he's put it on.
He's gone to sleep.
But yes, so I think we are looking at. Well, what are we looking at coming back? When will episode 14?
It all depends on whether I win the lottery or not.
Whether it ever happens.
Yeah, if I manage to win that lottery, we'll be doing this from Monaco.
Oh, I'd like that. Of course, as I'm trying to describe a cold environment, and we're sitting there in vests.
Yeah, like, oh, it's terribly cold here. Ah.
The blizzard comes forward. Iced drinks.
With the Cortex logo on it as well.
Perhaps, yeah.
So we've got our budgie smugglers on with the wolf in a tasteful place.
With the googly eyes.
Yeah. Woo. Oh, that wolf's got a really pink nose.
Tiny little wiggling off to one side.
Yeah.
The fourth.
He's got a cold.
He's got a weird looking beard.
Just
on the side.
sneezed it everywhere. The fourth. What's the fourth? Is that
Friday?
Friday? Yeah.
Fourth.
Friday the 4th.
So, episode 14, the journey south.
The massive change. And then before you know it, we're heading to the moot. What? What?
Kill all the halflings!
If I'm going,
Right.
the halflings are going as well.
Yeah.
I've never liked them.
No. They're all cooks. What am I thinking?
I think
Mid-season break
Tasselhoff's going to get it.
in the back of the wagon.
Yeah, like-
Yeah, looks like a girl. Isn't it a girl? We're not sure.
We're not too
Is
sure.
it a girl?
It came out at the end and we were all like, really? Oh, okay. He's got no idea. He doesn't read. Tasselhoff?
Barefoot?
Hasselhoff?
Kenda? Who
Kenda?
packs?
Yeah.
The guy who did Baywatch.
Yeah. That's exactly who it should have been. Hey! Wait a minute. You're a female Kenda. Yeah, with a mullet.
The Hoopak, as described. Oh yes, but there's no concept of skill. It's a fucking draconians slaughtered in their thousands.
Yeah.
The dragon, rah, smash. They need a dragon lance. The giant race of Kenda
Yeah.
comes storming through berserk.
I thought they were...
That would have have been a different
It
story.
would have been entirely, and that's a girl. Oh,
And those buggers are curious. No, I think blood crazed is
blood
more
craze.
like it.
Yeah, that would have been different.
They don't know if there's a reason for that. They eat dragons.
Yep. So,
That'll be episode 14. Yeah. What do you think? Any reviews? Anything off the top of your head that you want to sort of go? Oh, that was an interest.
anything?
No, I just want to see what happened. How did the Hag Mother just get cooked up like that?
Well, you can go and ask if you want, but you're on your own.
Will we ever know?
I'm not going to ask. Like, just before I go, rah!
That's your mum.
We were estranged.
It turns out that our prophecies are a bit short-sighted.
Yeah.
The next time we're going to say is when the king dies, blah, 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 blah. Actually, ma'am, the next day it turns out you were cooked and eaten.
Yeah.
See that? Oh,
Turns out,
Unless that whole thing was just was just not
I'll wake up in the
real. Was not real.
shh. Oh,
it's when Harry Potter wakes up in the shower
Yeah, like,
with a shadow of an orderly behind him.
crying,
Harry washing the soap suds down.
trying to get away from the feelings of just loathing, self-loathing.
So I just realised, of course, how did I mean it was fairly deliberate, of course. Where
What?
you know, he's standing there as Glorfin, no,
Glorfindel.
Grombrindal,
Grombrindal.
and he's like, "Haha, Alvar!" He's like, "Whatever, bitch."
Yeah.
That's like, so cold.
Yeah, like,
This world is so cold.
I've got both my guns out.
But I'm Caradak. No, you're not. I'm Grombrindal. The dwarf's like, no, you're not.
No, who are you? You're just the killer of the old maid.
The last maid.
The last
Helga.
poor old Helga.
Yeah, poor Helga, and the head of the maids, Fat Mo,
Fat Mo that you destroyed
Big Mo.
with your axe.
and Big Mo.
And big, three of them. Oh my,
Oh my
god.
Says the old Mo.
You're a serial killer.
I didn't kill anyone.
It wasn't me.
That didn't deserve it.
It wasn't me.
That didn't
Was
deserve it.
That sounds very sort of serial killer. Oh well, they deserved it, you know.
I
Really?
killed anyone I didn't like.
Yeah.
Yeah, so Grombrindal worked his way through 3 demons and a Scriani.
Although he's a little battered for that one.
Yeah, the Scriani definitely had its way with him.
Yeah. Not that hard. I could easily handle a screw. I can take care of an entire tribe of them just with one hand. One hand's 200 miles back in a hold and a dwarf hold going, attack.
Flame cannons to the front! But yeah. Okay, so next thing, what are we doing? So I can see that on the 4th is the next RP. Are we expected to be doing anything in the meantime? I know that,
Well, mostly I will be drinking.
which is the best way.
Yeah. That's what the baby Jesus would want.
We'll have to. Well, it's definitely. I'm not going to show up on the 25th. Me and you will discuss and have a chat and see if there's any Red Dead on the 27th or 26th, 27th, or Friday the 28th. If you're not doing anything, well, it could be family time. I'm being abandoned. Abandoned ye all.
Right, yeah.
Open faith and stuff. We're all heading down south.
Dan Seth.
Well, anyway,
Going into
what
orc
we'll do
territory.
We'll do something.
Yeah, well, anybody that's watching this now,
Hello.
looking, etc., or those that are watching this on YouTube in years to come, when you're using it as a history of the world. And
Can
how
you
we got to
believe
this point.
that person actually became Prime Minister of the world, of the United Federation of Planets?
No. Crazy stuff.
Yeah.
His speeches were crap.
All hail King Holt.
Thanks very much for being with us throughout the this. Well, I suppose the last part of 2018 when we went live. The last few months, we've hit affiliate.
Yeah.
And we have some plans for the future, which we hope you will join us for. But the next time you guarantee to see us 3 together and with Holt will be on the 4th January.
Also, Holt joining us on the 4th.
He shall be joining us on the 4th. He may sit here, do nothing, because you know how we can waste a bit of time. The chances are it won't be the 4th. It'll probably be the 2nd Friday for you watching this later, Holt. Oh, we're still in the bloody forest.
Ah!
What's that behind you?
Where?
Okay. Holt will not be joining us on the 4th, of course, because you've got to get
We've got
whatever.
so much to do.
Weird and crazies. So yes, we've got a new look. We'll be following us. Please follow us on Twitter. Have a look at us on Instagram. We're still getting a grip on that. But otherwise, we will keep you updated of the new format coming in the new year. But if not, please join us on the 4th of January for episode 14, The Journey South.
The journey south.
I suppose happy holidays.
Happy holidays, yeah.
Happy Yule.
Happy Yule.
Yes.
Yule, yeah.
Yule.
And happy
Enjoy the ham.
winter solstice.
Yes.
Happy winter solstice. Just look wherever you are. Just have
Well,
have a good time.
it
Have
is-
a good time.
It is the winter solstice.
Yes.
It's the shortest day today.
It is, yeah.
Yeah.
And funny enough, very quickly, that explained I was driving
Home for Christmas.
north.
Driving home for Christmas.
and basically between the two houses was this ridiculously large moon, very low in the air, in the sky, in the horizon, and it's not even 4, it was 10 to 4. There was a full bloody moon. Is that normal?
You possibly were somewhere near Middlesbrough,
Mansley.
because don't forget, Chris Rea, Road to Hell. That was talking about the driving down the A19 to Middlesbrough. You're on the road to hell, because he's from Borough. That's if you've ever been on the A19.
Yeah, let's be honest, Middlesbrough is a very dark place, even in the height of summer.
That's just because the chemical factories.
Yeah.
That's just ICI.
Are they called smoggies?
They are called smuggies for a reason. Yeah.
Yes. Maybe we shall cover that in our new format.
Facts you don't know. We'll tell you about
I like it.
monkey hangers.
Yes, I like that. Nevin's facts you don't know.
The story of the monkey hangers
And the smoggies.
of Hartley.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's got something to do with Frenchmen, I think.
Possibly, but who would know?
Yeah.
I'm intrigued.
Yeah, well, the monkey was, briefly.
Happy holidays,
Happy
everybody.
holidays.
Take
Are we
care
on
now.
that? Are we on that one? Happy
Yeah, well,
holidays. Bye. Love you.
look for the red
See you
light.
later. Look.
Yeah. Don't look at the red light.